Oh, hello everyone. PN3 predictions, top half. We're finally here, like a month later. Yeah. Today for the top half, I'm joined by Brock. How you going, bro? Or Firebird?
Good, man. Good.
Good. Happy days. Brendan or Runt, how you doing?
Good, thank you. In a frantic rush to get all the stats done.
Yeah, cool. And also Wax, who's trying to set up some nice LEDs.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Happy days. Cool. Let us know how the audio levels are for everyone. If someone was really loud or quiet, or if the music's really loud and or inaudible, let us know. Otherwise, we'll pretty much get right into it. We've got 11 teams to go through, and we'll try and not make this a 3-hour stream because the 3-hour ones are rough.
And I'll still be here. I'm just gonna work on stats.
Yes. So Brandon is here. Runt is here. He's just just seeing you run away, like the reflection of your window is funny. That was awesome. Someone clipped that. That was sick. Okay, cool. Has anyone got something they would like to say or plug before we get into it?
Popcorn. If LSA has
Eat
merch
this.
or something.
Yeah, get LSA merch.
Get
Ryan.
LSA merch, please. I don't have any on me to show you it, but yeah. Also, I guess what I'll say is thank you for those of you who have, well, for one, ordered the LSA jerseys. Special thank you for the people who have actually sent the money for their jerseys already, because I've been able to now place the deposit for the jerseys, and they have started being manufactured. Still probably halfway still to receiving all of the payments. So if you haven't already done so, please do so. But yeah, no, that is very much underway. But cool. Without further ado, I will start to share my screen. Boom. Oh, I forgot to change my screen. Oh, I'm out of practice. I've got my proper setup back, my proper computer and everything, but I'm out of practice with my nice setup. Okay, we're here now. Dope. Starting us off in 11th place, we have. Oh, I forgot to take off the cube animations. I took it off for the other strip, for the other slides. I forgot to take it off for this one. That's awesome.
-5.
Damn, why all the boxes look so whack? I was just looking. All my boxes are the wrong shape. Whatever, we're rolling with it. I ain't got time. 11th place, we have the Pex Boys. Down 5 from predictions. Lots of smiles there. Not very many smiles on the last day, unfortunately. Yeah, on the team, we have Bakura or Bonfire. I think he was just using his Bakura card. He is still Bonfire, as far as I'm aware. Memeless, Marmaduke, Ninja, No Idea, and Axiom. Yeah, unfortunately, the down 5 for predictions was the biggest drop of any team from where they were predicted to place. Yeah, I don't know. We were saying just before the stream that all of you guys feel like you only versed Apex once. Is that right?
Yeah, and they beat us. God damn.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, first.
Oh,
I think
sweet.
one of the first
I have to
times
go and
ever.
interview them and find out their secrets.
Yeah, well, I think the game was a bit scrappy. It was against you as well, Brock. I think it was you guys and them, and they won. We got second, you got third. Just a really scrappy game. But even just looking at it, what is going? Did Robin just have a bad comp, or was he trying to fill in gaps other ways, or was he playing last line?
Was he playing out?
He was last lining.
Instead of No Idea.
That's looked way better pre-1 when he was last lining though.
Well, I guess that
remember
was also
being
on
blown
Nexus
away.
as well, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I also think a lot of those, he was good I think he was their main last line for the blue at Pre-Nets 1 from memory. And the way that blue base was, especially on Nexus, you get a quick player like Bonfire, he's going to cause some trouble. That being said, I mean, the tag ratio of 158%, still really, really, really good, especially on H2. But yes, his average score and his score ratio and his destroys are not nearly as high as we normally see, but that is because he was their main last line for this tournament.
I mean, the 158 tag ratio is like last line sort of stats.
Yeah, no. Which was a little strange, a little different, because they had been training mostly with No Idea as their main last line. So maybe they were just trying something out for pre-nuts. We'll see what they decide to do coming back into nationals. But yeah, obviously, yeah, you guys only. I mean, I'm pretty sure we only like Aftershock only versus Apex once because they did a funny thing where Brock, have you got like the team ladder movements there?
I've got them up on the other screen. Hang on, somewhere there. Yeah, there. So, oh, that's terrible. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? So yeah, Apex 14th round robin, then up to 9th, then up to 7th.
Yeah,
so
I mean and that makes sense why you guys only versed them once, right? Like you probably like in the round robin, and then yeah, they did start like very like quite low, especially for what they were expected. So it makes sense. I feel like Aftershock should have versed them more than once because we kind of did a similar thing, like not as low, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we only versed them once as well. But I guess I'll start off. What I did notice is and this was more from reffing one of their games rather than actually playing against them. But I remember specifically reffing like at Red Base or something, and at home, like Memeless and Marmaduke. So Memeless is the captain, he's the in-game leader, the lead attacker, and Marmaduke has been their like opening batsman, or like their first attacker out, and like they're the brothers, and they have like, you know, ways of just like telepathically communicating. They played with each other so many times. They just flow really nicely together, especially at home, and they have at previous tournaments as well. But what's interesting is not only this tournament, but I also found it was the case at Hobart Nationals as well. They were just... It felt like sometimes they were running against a brick wall. Or like when I was reffing, like I might see both of them rock up, but like going separate doors, and then like not winning, like one would win their duel, but one wouldn't win their duel. And like, it's hard to get into a base in that scenario with only one person up, right? There was times, and then they would leave, and then you might see one of them swing by for a couple deaths, and then they will leave, and then you'll see the other one swing by. And, you know, it felt like, yeah, even when they were attacking together, it didn't feel like they were really like coordinating together. It felt like two individual players making plays. And you know, like they're good players and they can make it work sometimes, but like, you know, and you know, sometimes, yes, I think obviously as you get higher and higher on the ladder, like being able to crack a base with one person winning their duel on one side, like, you know, if the last line only has to watch one way, like you shouldn't expect to be able to beat that last line if they're any good, right? Especially if at a base like Red, where like the other door defender can just like, oh, no one's here, and they can shoot through the base. So that was a criticism I had for them. That was more from that one game reffing them, and also what I observed reffing at Hobart Nationals. But yeah, it's felt like the memeless Marmaduke attack hasn't been. Yeah, they just haven't really been like playing off of each other like we've seen them do in the past. And I'm not really sure what to attribute that to. But
I don't know if I said it during one of the other streams, like Princess 1 or 2, but I noticed this at the start of the year as well. It didn't feel like they were as in tune with each other, and like didn't feel like they were like playing together very well. It felt like they were just playing and it worked sometimes and sometimes it didn't. But it just looked a little off. And like what Crowbar said in chat, like the scores here are so low. Like you expect those top three to have like crazier scores. And like I think I will give it like that was their tournament where the full new team is like there trying to work out how everyone plays, trying to help Axiom. Like this is Axiom's third comp, and realistically before this he was on like this should be a top team, but like they just like obviously some things weren't going their way properly. They had, if you look at them go up and down on the rankings, they literally like it's just so volatile. Like they can't decide where they want to be because they're probably just trying to work things out. So I think like I think this is probably going to be the lowest we see them, and then I think at nationals it's going to be a lot better, and just like
For
the
sure.
team play will be a little bit better. They just got to work out. I really don't want it like as good as like Robin. Like these are like Robin's top of the ladder of the team ladder here. Like blast lightning. Like I'm here for this, but he's going to be there anyway, and do more for the team if he's playing mid or attacking or doing these things that he's like better
He's a
at.
really, really talented mid. Like he's someone who finds a lot of pack in the middle of the arena, but other players
100%.
don't find.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, like, if you come to him, he's gonna like you're gonna be like shaken because he's like so aggressive when he plays, and it's just like he's got that really good like dominating style of play. Like it just needs to be like you just need to see Axiom with that 100%. Like I think having Memeless and Marmaduke a tiny bit lower, like yeah, okay, they're gonna get shot a couple times, but like I think all these last like these defending tier should have a good 100%, and I think there's no world where Axiom can't do that. Like he's good at standoffs. Like his standoffs are actually pretty strong.
I think if you were looking at his Axiom stats towards the end of the comp, I think he was starting to get a lot more confidence in his duels and stuff for sure. Because obviously this is a round robin to Cascade 2, doesn't take into account the last day, but yeah, no, I'm surprised to see Axiom's tag ratio 82% because like what I remember talking to him about is that he felt real comfy on some of the doors, just like dominating the space, especially that green back door. Like that's a really good space for him.
What was Axiom's role that he played on the previous team in Hobart? What role?
Captained.
He captained.
Yes, he captained. He captained Anomaly in Hobart and in Bendigo as well. He's played.
That's
Bendigo
a huge play style shift to go from like a captain role to I believe like primarily a door defender, right? Like,
yeah, he's the main.
You end up with heaps more time in the game to just stand around with your thoughts, and it's like and a lot more of your duels you're taking like. People are pressing up on you, you're taking from a different standpoint to the way you'd take a duel as a captain, like trying to lead the ship. So there could be a mentality shift there going on as well.
I just noticed as well that Ninja's got a higher base average than Marmaduke, which is kind of a bit crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like at home, like in training, like most of the time Marmaduke would be the ones getting the first bases for Apex. Like he would in training have like I'm pretty sure he would probably have like a 1.92 base average. He gets both his bases like all the time. And like even like in previous tournaments, I think we've seen that much higher. But yeah, to see that's interesting. See Ninja's higher than Marmaduke's is it's kind of wild. And I mean, like his denial rate isn't even high, so it's not a case of he's getting in and he's not like confirming the bases. He's just they're struggling to get in, which is what I was talking about before. Where it looked like the Memeless Marmaduke attack was struggling quite a bit.
And he's got long arms. Like he should be chilling in these bases. Like everything. Like yeah, I just want to see them play a little bit more like Apex. Like at 3-man attacks.
That chaotic, aggressive.
Not fully chaotic, but like I guess play somewhat more like you guys. Like they play like Storm. Like if they can work out like how that works and like play that way, I think it would be good for them to push into that, then lean away and have Bakura in a base and stuff.
I feel like Pre-1 they were really good at like a quick 4-man attack. I didn't see any of that this time.
Yeah.
Like the 4-man attack was why I put them so high in predictions because that was really impressive at Pre-1, and then I didn't see them do it at least, but I only versed them once, so I'm not sure.
I mean, it could be a case of like it worked for them Pre-1 and then they wanted to put it in the back pocket. You know, and they try out other stuff at Pre-Nats 3. You know, that's also a possibility. We might see that come back at Nationals, but yeah. Have you guys got any other observations about the PEX boys or things you want to say?
I just want them to learn a lot from this. This seems like a very big learning comp, and I hope they like at Nationals they get all the training in and they do all the things they need to do, talk about the things they need to talk about. And
yeah,
just,
like,
I mean, be that 5 spots higher, be in the top bit fighting with people.
I think, as far as I'm aware, like their attitude towards their performance at Pre-Nats has been positive. Like they've done stuff, like they've done a full, you know, they had the thing where you have a full dinner with the boys, you know, relax, chill, and then like talk about like the whole comp and like how everyone's like what everyone thinks of it, and you know, from what I can understand, because I was talking to Axiom about it. Pretty positive outlook moving forward. So yeah, I think like you said, Wax, like this is the lowest we see the PEX boys. I think yeah,
Definitely gonna put
they'll
them
be back.
back
Bounce
at that
back even more.
8-7 spot for Nats. I think it'd be a good spot for them too.
For sure.
Not to be a dick, but didn't they kind of end up in a similar spot at Nats?
They finished 11th in Hobart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could see them doing it, but I think
But it's
like,
also this is a different Apex to that
Yeah.
Apex as well.
Yeah,
I'd like to point out.
I'm not so convinced that we're gonna see them jump. At
I
Nats.
think this team fixes the issues that Apex had though. Like I feel
Yeah.
like the way that they played, this team can make that slightly better and more consistent if they
I mean,
like work it out.
the alternative point to that is like looking at the existing ladder and like 11, like for pre-3, for example, the 11th through like even like all the way up to 5th, 4th potentially. Like I can see those teams jumping around a bunch. Like there's every chance that they end up back here somewhere. There's every chance they end up like pushing top 5.
I mean, yeah, the victory points from 12th like to like 6th was very tight during this tournament for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, look at the other teams around, like let's say that 7th, 8th mark is like Riptide, Aftershock, Eclipse, Dragons. Like, I mean, it could almost be a roll of a dice. Like, there's depending on, I don't know.
Yeah.
The teams are just really close in this margin, and they could go up or down. And I don't think it's a huge like insult to a team to end up 3 spots lower if you lose one bad game. Necessarily. Like,
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Well, we'll talk about the PEX boys for a bit. So let's choose everyone choose a standout player if you have one, and we'll move on to 10th place. Who wants to go first?
I just want to call out again. I pretty much only saw one game in my game, one player in my game against them, and that was Axiom, who for 7 minutes straight was screaming home to his team at the top of his lungs, only to nobody come home. And that was tenacity. He never left. He just stayed at that door, dying over and over, just calling home, destroying his voice for 7 minutes straight.
Please.
Poor thing. Is he your pick for stand-up player for that?
It was impressive. I've never seen anyone that committed to yelling home.
Yeah, you get to a point you just give up.
Yeah,
Like,
he
let 'em
never
come,
did.
man. Good man. Good man. Wax Brock, have you got or Firebird?
I'll go memeless.
Nameless,
I'll go no idea because he absolutely dicked me in our one game. So I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to No Idea as well. More, I mean, yeah, his attitude in general has just improved like significantly since I played with him like at a nationals back in 2019. And it's getting that kind of stuff in check is like, I know from experience, like extremely hard. So he gets my kudos for that. He's doing a lot better, and he's just playing well as well. So happy days. Alrighty. Well, yeah. Best of luck to the PEX boys. We hope to see you back in the top 10. Know you can do it. Yeah. Moving on. 10th place with the Sharkies, up 4 from predictions. Rikey. They were I think they were the second biggest climb. Just refresh the slides.
Yep.
Easy. On the team we have Flash, Method, Arbol, Rogue, Drake, and Stinky. Oh, bloody hell. Who's got something to say about these boys? Who wants to get us started off?
I will say that I made my predictions for the Sharkies before I knew Rogue was on the team, and like genuinely talking to Rogue and like seeing him play, like he might not be the craziest player, but look at his tag ratio. He's still gonna win like a bunch of standoffs. He's still just gonna be that reliable comma.
He's still really, really good to like
Yeah.
an influence on the team as well.
Yeah.
It's not a flashy player, but it's like someone who brings a lot to a team.
Like, I think those 4 spots are just from Rogue alone. I'm glazing the absolute crap out of this man, but like honestly, he is that guy. He is that guy for me. Like that's what they were missing at pre-nats too. Like they look so much like, and they actually have some destroy numbers here. There's 2 players with destroyers on them, which is nice to see. Like
Let's
Flash and
go.
Method went home and like did some drills, and they're like, oh wait, we have to shoot it 3 times, not twice. Like they worked it out. So like I think this is a good sign if they can work out some. think they like from what I remember, there was a lot of like nice little plays, but it just didn't seem very consistent. Like they would beat teams that they shouldn't beat sometimes, and then they just lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to.
Definitely looked like a stronger team than the previous like Sharks we saw previous pre-nats. I think like team looks better. It's still lacking a little bit of depth at the moment as far as like ability to like go deep on bases. So if games stay lower, it suits them more.
Sure, for sure. I admit I think we versed these guys once, and they did play like a very like 4 or 5 man spready from red. And I think I'm pretty sure we ended up beating them the game that we versed them. But they did very much have us on pack points, but like we were able to get the bases we needed to win. So that definitely lines up with what I saw. But I think yeah, I don't know. I remember reffing one of their games when they were green, and it looked. I had like pretty much every single one of the players, like because I was a roaming ref, like run past me at some point, and they always looked lost, or like they were looking for someone and couldn't find them, or someone was supposed to be there and they weren't there, or like they weren't sure what they were supposed to be doing. It could have just been like that one game. It was a bad game. It was probably like halfway through the tournament or something. Obviously, they were able to, tighten that up. All right, because I mean, 10th place at this tournament with like the teams that were there is like not a bad showing at all. But yeah, that was just a thing I remember seeing. It was like everyone looked really lost at some point. And I wasn't really sure what to chalk that up to. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I can really remember about the Sharkies. Obviously, it's hard when this was like a month ago. So
yeah, I think we've got some good intel on the next slide. If you want to pop that over.
All right, boom. Where are they at?
They've done it again.
What the fuck?
8 points.
God damn.
8 points.
It's wild.
What does that mean if it's flat the whole time?
It just means bases, right?
It means in comparison to every other team here, they're the baseline. They are the minimum average points at every points mark in comparison to the other 10 teams.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like at the 9-minute mark, for example, Catalyst on average had 9k more points than Sharkies.
Yeah, right. Huh? That's a flat line. God damn! Oh my days!
I think he asking the real questions.
Oh
This is actually crazy to look at. Like, is this literally just they don't like because they don't have those like base jumps ever? Like, it's just so low that they don't actually get.
You can actually see the base jumps. So you see at 9 minutes where their graph, where everyone else jumps up, it's all relative to Sharkies. If everyone on the graph is jumping, it means that Sharkies have done something at the 9-minute mark. Now, if everyone else is going up at 9 minutes, that means Sharkies have actually gone down a lot at 9 minutes. But at 10 minutes, they get bases though, which is why everyone else is being dragged down. So they got a pretty good 10-minute game. But yeah, like that 9-minute game is actually crazy how much every other team pulls away from them so much.
Holy. Crazy to look at. I'm here for them to lean into it more. I actually think they're like 4-man D can be like work really well if they can control the game well and not lose a base.
I don't think you can control the game well enough in this arena with like
too big.
like you play a
Reckon?
4D and the other two teams just play the game with them like over there and you're like, well,
all right, then just from green.
yeah,
The other two bases,
green, sure.
I think you can't do it as much. Maybe from red if you're getting constantly attacked, but if not,
they're
then,
like a third of the way there then.
yeah, they got one base sorted. They just need to work out how to play blue and fucking red.
Yeah, interesting. Is there anything else we can really remember or draw upon from the stats?
Hold on, I gotta delete your transitions.
No, leave.
Yes, Ryan. Yes, Ryan.
I just won't refresh.
I've deleted the ones on the graph slides at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They don't get denied much.
They weren't getting denied much, except for poor old
They
Steve.
don't get much
He's
deniers. No.
stepping up to a higher team though, like a higher caliber team than previously.
I didn't even. Yeah, I
I
didn't even
mean,
see that.
yeah,
That's true.
it does look like the team of the obvious issue where you have two attackers that get their bases very reliably and then it just stops. Yeah.
Mm.
Tag ratios look like generally really good across
Tag
the
ratio-
board.
yeah,
Like
pack
the
and pack
lowest being
is not-
90% is great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's genuinely just their attack just stops. Like, if even the attackers are getting positive tag ratios, like they're shooting stuff so well, it's just they stop getting bases, I guess, and the game kind of pulls away from them. Is what must be happening.
So, I mean, Method saying in chat he played mid this entire comp. So he's picking bases up from mid. Flash is getting bases, but they're then struggling to convert a third player into bases reliably.
I think if they do commit to this two people only getting bases, those base numbers need to be higher. Like 1.1 and 1.4 is just not high
They
enough
should be much higher.
to be the only ones getting bases. They need to be like 1.8 and 1.7. Like,
I mean, that means they're the only ones getting bases, but they're not getting very many bases. Yeah,
Well,
for
which
sure.
if that's how they want to play, and I think that could work with this team. If this is their Nats team, I don't remember because they don't have like
Sure.
anyone else in the team is not the really craziest base crackers. Like I think them playing and committing to this playstyle could work, but those two need to get their two,
I mean-
and they need to be locking out their base a lot more.
They can lead into more coordinated cracks than like talented solo crackers as well.
That is true.
Like,
That is true.
There's a method to practice cracking, and how do we get into a base with two people that maybe isn't like, Wax with his 3-kilometer arms, and like, there's I think they can improve their attack, and like if that's the one thing you walk away and you fix, like, all right, now all of us can get into a base like X way, Y way, whatever, and if they can pull it off, that changes their game a heap, right?
Even if they just have like a nice little set 3-man attack that they have planned that like they do at a certain point in the game so that they can attack from this side or something because the player who's not as good at attacking is set up to get the base, and like they just got to do things like that. And I think this team can they can be back at the not the top, but like the top 10 and like fighting people above them and stuff and doing a little bit better.
You were definitely cooking in round robin. It just took a nosedive after that method.
Cool. Who's everyone's pick for MVP?
Always Rogue. Rogue's my goat.
I'm pretty impressed with like Flash's stats. Like, again, to come back after so many years and to still pull a positive tag ratio in this maze attacking is bloody hard. So yeah, and he's still getting pretty good base numbers, good pack points, all that.
And clean as well, relatively
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah, he's still got it bloody well.
If he gets those denied numbers up, then he'll be even higher on this. He'll get my
For
praise.
sure. For sure. It needs minimum 1.3.
I'll
denies
say
against.
I'll say method. If method was playing from mid, I'll pick method. Like I think I'm not mad about those stats for a mid for where this team was. Yeah,
I think my issue is that's mid with 4 players defending though, so it's kind of.
but it's mid. It's mid with but I don't know. I still pick method.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Flash as well. Same reason as Runt. As it was cool to see him come back after a bit of time off, and still, pretty cutthroat prey nuts, and still getting like good like the positive tag ratios and good base destroyers, and getting them clean on H2, not getting phaser shots so much. So happy days. Happy days. Well, yeah, well done to Sharkies, and we'll see you at Nationals. Bloody hell. Best of luck. Moving on. 9th place, we have Riptide. Down 1 from predictions. On Riptide, we had Pug Salad, Jam, Big Red, Volley, Carton, and Hazmat. Who wants to start off?
Wax, or do you want me to go?
You can start. You start.
I don't know. I was expecting more from this team. I think this team is capable of way more than what they showed at Pre-3, and I'm not sure what their big issues were as to that. I know, like, I will give a pass for Pug being a green captain because it's a rough role to learn as like a younger player and a newer player, especially like trying to push into a top end that's just always getting better and better. And I know he definitely gets caught up in his own head sometimes about whether he should be trying to like play out of his mind and play crazy to make things happen, or whether he needs to stop and think, and he gets caught between the two, which I suppose is an easy trap to fall in. I still great stats, great score ratio there, and like a respectable tag ratio for someone who's like attacking and leading attack the whole time. Jam needs to stop getting denied.
Yeah, there's just so many things. Like I literally refed one of their games, and then I went outside with them, and I was like, "What the hell are you guys doing? Like, what is this? What is that? What is this?" And they're just like, "Oh, we didn't know." And I'm like, "Is this like these things?" And then I remember that like they are still the new players. They don't have like they're like Volley's experienced, but like he hasn't played much and he hasn't been around as much with the team, so
he can't train as much either at the moment.
Yeah. And Volley doesn't know as like all the details. And Hazmat wasn't last lining. I'm still
That was
mad.
a crazy one.
I'm still mad. There's just like so I literally ref one game. They had Jam on the comming door, not comming.
Problem.
They had Volley last lining, Bread on green front door, so like the pushing door. They just like they looked a little lost and confused. And I think like I'm so like I definitely overhyped them on the last stream because I was pumping up the boys. But like I just think like we see it in Queensland. Like we see it in training when they're playing at Lawton. Maybe not at Sunny Coast as much because Sunny Coast is like
you need to like Sunny Coast. It's a different style of play.
You need to like really think more and like more team play where like at Lawton they can individually just be better and it's just like it evens out more. Where at Lawton you really need to play better as a team. Which I think Albury, you don't need to play better as a team. Like you can pop off as an individual and it will do wonders in this maze. And like they just, from what I know, Pug also really struggled to have like a second attacker who he felt really comfortable with. But I just don't, in my mind, there's no world where that isn't like that should just be Volley. Like it can be Volley and then Jam can do pushing, Bread can be on the anchor door, put Hazmat under. Like Hazmat is so good under, and I don't understand why like they like maybe they're experimenting, but like there's just no world where Hazmat shouldn't be under because he's really good in all these bases. Like maybe not blue. I think he says he struggles in blue. Maybe that can be a Volley last line.
I mean, that's an interesting comment. I do recall. I don't know whether it was pre-2 or pre-3. I do recall like a period of time where it has like absolutely like slapped me down out of like last lining out of blue. Like he might not feel comfortable there, but I think he's still very capable inside that base.
I thought it was blue, but it's green. Like if it's green, then maybe Volley can last line in green. But like it's just having Hazmat's voice in the base, be loud, like do these things that are really good. Like they just need to work out how they want the team to run, and because like everything here is pretty good. Tag ratio is good. Score ratio is pretty good. GRC. Like, the destroys, they don't have a second player, and Pug's destroys isn't high enough. Like, it needs to be higher, but maybe that's because he didn't have that solid second player that he could. And, like, maybe, like, as much as I'm saying, get denied early, but then fix it. And one isn't the end of the world, but, like, he's making up for it in other ways. But, like, Jam getting 1.5 denied, like, what is
that's him getting them. He's
only
one
getting them as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
1.5. Jam is denying everyone.
How's he getting these denies? What is he doing?
Damn.
The hell?
Shots maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want to see like. I hope. I know they've learned a lot from the Prenats 3 like comp. I just hope that they actually like
can implement it,
take it, implement it, get better, and be that like 3 spots higher, fighting for like maybe one golden game if they like put it all together.
Dude, these stats are like indicative of like what could be a really good team.
Yeah, 100%.
That shouldn't be in 9th.
Sure. I mean, remembering back, I'm pretty sure their stats are definitely better across the board than the team above them. So
I haven't seen the other team stats, so I could also be like digging myself a really bad grave right now where everyone above is like.
Yeah. Yeah, we versed them quite a bit. I think we generally went kind of like 50-50 on like wins with each other. I could be wrong. We ended up had 3 games in a row with each other on that last day, and yeah, we were like second, third, and we just kind of like bombed out together. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything in particular I'd like to say other than Pug Salad's like timing. I don't know about you guys, but when I came up against him, his like timing was some of the most.
Don't gas him up. He doesn't need more gas.
It was really
gasses
impressive.
Himself up.
I literally remember winning one duel against him, like a timing duel, and I was like,
he has like an unorthodox brawling style compared to most players. Like I think he plays similarly to Wax as far as brawling, which is different to a lot of other people.
Sure.
From my perspective.
Yeah, no, his timing was very good, and I think Carton's timing as well. Actually, I really struggled to like get anything more than a double against him. So I'll.
Carton's standoffs are amazing. He just needs to learn how to attack in a way that like helps his other player that he's with more. Like I think he needs to bounce off his other player better.
Sure. Has anyone else got more things they'd like to say about Riptide before we choose a MVP?
I will say as well, we haven't said anything about Bread. I think Bread did okay this comp. I just want to hear him more. Like he needs to be a door defender with a voice and like being that solid guy that like he's like the stats here are really good. Like he just needs to be like that anchor.
He has got a voice. He has got a good voice on him when he uses it as well. Like, and his comms are like always on time, always really, really good, just as long as they're consistent.
And he's playing with like Jam's unstable, Pug's really unstable, Carton's stable, Hazmat can be somewhat unstable sometimes. So Bread needs to be like the old man. Like he needs to be that guy who like is just always solid. Like, come on boys, like we can do this. Like good comms, just keeping it up, keep the energy going. Not bringing it down.
I was gonna say I actually really liked seeing them use like Hazmat to get like a lefty lunge into blue and like use him as a person to crack base, kind of the way that Rampage sometimes use Spider in an ideal world where they're just like, oh, you run on that door and be really long. And like I saw him break out the blue defense really well for them, so that was quite impressive. So maybe if they could get him not as a committed attacker but as like a float player who could just be called over, crack a base for them, and then they run through that kind of thing, and then kind of get him in the base when that's not going to be effective.
The counter to that is they've got Volley, who has actually got a pretty decent wingspan on him for a lefty as well. So they've got options for that sort of lefty crack.
Yeah,
like, they don't have to give up a lefty last line if they don't want to.
That is fair. But yeah, I was like, that's actually a cool thing. I wasn't expecting them to do, but then they kind of seemed to overcommit to his attack or something. I don't know. It was surprising.
Yeah, I think he ended up being their main attacker. Still very weird, but
shot. Well, who is everyone's pick for MVP?
I'm gonna say Pug. Still very impressed at like the job he's doing, like taking on the captaincy role and leading a first year or like a new team that hasn't like some of them were together last year, but like this is a new core. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say Pug too, but I'm also gonna say that he needs to like really like step up, like as the captain and like try and I can't speak because I'm an emotional wreck, but like he needs to try and be like 10% better. Like he can't shut down after a bad game. He needs to just if he shuts down, he's got a minute. He's got a minute to like have a cry and then boom outside. All right, this is what went wrong. This is what we need to do better. Like he is the person that needs to be speaking when things don't go wrong. He can't just sit there and be sad about it.
Sure, good caveat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to go on. Like I've got stats to go on. I think both Pugs and Jams are very impressive. I think 1.5 denial stats is is very, very impressive.
Yummy.
Similarly, yeah, Pug keeping stats high in a maze, which I feel has a very high cognitive load on a captain. So especially keeping stats high as a new captain in a maze, which is very complex play. Very impressive.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Carton because he got look at the Nemesis stats. He got the highest DX streak on me. He got me 8 times in a row without me shooting him.
God damn.
Yeah, I know. That's
Man got
probably
milk-banned.
that's like the worst DX streak I've ever had as well. So kudos to Carton for dishing that one out to me. Good man. All right. Anything else we want to say about Riptide?
Jam had his 14 DX streak, Bozo.
Oh, he did. He did. Yeah, I got to withdraw my
better.
previous.
Get better.
Ooh,
Get better.
Damn, that's rough. That's so rough.
14 is
Show
too
up to
reloads,
training, Bozo.
That second trip through the reload would be so painful.
And it's
Oh,
insane that
boy.
his stats are still good even if he's playing games like that, which I mean,
It was
speaks to
probably just
a
one
very, yeah, but for sure, which I mean speaks to like a very inconsistent player. I guess the fact he's having games that bad means he's having very, very good games
Like
to counteract
games.
that. Yeah,
Oh.
so
I will say quickly, cry less about cheating, Jam, after the game.
yeah, it's always interesting seeing the stats reflect the things that people say, as in being like, James seems a bit up and down in his emotions, and then his stats seem to be similar.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Anything we want to draw upon their average worm thing, or not really?
I don't know. I'm thinking about remaking this without sharks, just because everyone else looks so clustered and you have sharks so far down.
Yeah.
Where are we?
The blue dots.
You need to maybe work, by the looks of it, maybe work something out at the start of the game more so they can try and keep up with everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, Riptide had an equally bad start of game as Sharks. They are
Okay.
like exactly there on the
Takes them a
flat line, but they
8
pick it up a lot
minutes
more
to get
too.
there.
Interesting. Cool. Well, no, best is it the whole same roster for Nats?
Nothing's
Cool.
changing.
Best of luck to Riptide. You know, we versed each other and we ended up eliminating each other at Prenet 3. Hopefully, you know, we don't have a repeat of that because I don't know. That was funny. Anyway, it is what it is. Best of luck to you guys, and yes, I'm sure to see we'll see you back doing better than ever, having learnt lots from this pre-nats. In 8th place, me, Aftershock. We were down 3 from predictions on the team. We have myself, Benny, Jesse, Mikey, and R2D2 making his debut. First year, no. R2D2 is just beefy when he's bold. Because you got that dome head. No, he's like cartridge breaking. It just like took one of the IDs from like the packs at home because we have all of ours are Star Wars themed. I don't really want to. I don't know. What can I say?
Benny has improved his tag ratio heaps.
Yes.
Let's go, Benny.
Benny is
He's
him.
hitting people.
He's starting to channel his main character, Player One energy. He kind of like lost that for a little bit at pre-nets too. But he's starting to get it back. And that's what we want to see is the main protagonist, Benny, back on the horse.
Do you want one of us to start, or?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, and I have a read on kind of like what happened. But yeah, you guys can, you know, rip me a new one first.
First of all, sorry, is Mikey not attacking anymore? Because he was an attacker all of the last pre-nuts, right?
He's the captain. He is the lead attacker.
Okay, so he had a rough time.
Like, the thing is,
wasn't
he had a
getting-
rough time, but his tag ratio looks slightly better than it was last comp. Like, I think it was worse last comp, but his just bases are so low. Like,
Yeah, I thought his bases were way, way higher last comp.
yeah, I think they were. Switch it back, maybe. I just think, like, watching you guys play, it doesn't, like after you're done, it feels like things aren't happening as much. And I think, like I am still hyped as hell on Jesse. I just need to see more confidence from him. He just needs to, like, not even be him. He just needs to, like, have that next gear that he like. If he takes that next step up, like everything he's doing is so clean. He just needs to have that slight bit more confidence. Maybe it's just like a little bit more play time. Mikey just needs to be more decisive sometimes. Like even if it's the wrong call, just commit to it. It's happening. We're doing things instead of just. I think the one I did already say this to you, Ryan, but the one game I refed was there was just a lot of like a lot of talking and not enough doing. Like there was just a lot of conversations about what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go, and it was just really slow. And there wasn't any agency, any like quick fire decisions. Like I feel like that's something you guys used to be better at. Like if Mikey can be like, all right, maybe we don't have as much energy. We're not playing as good. Let's just bring the energy. Let's attack with 3. Let's do these 3-mans. Let's do this. Let's play this way. I'm going to be more decisive on these things. Like Benny had a way better comp. Like the stats are so much better. Like
across the board. Yeah, he did really well.
I'm glad to see him step up because like I was jokingly hyping him up and stuff when like I don't think we should have been, but like if it's helped, like maybe he was like, oh shit, like I'm not playing as good. Like I need to be better. Like this.
Yeah, that he definitely had that moment pre-nuts too. His words were like, "I'm just not him," is what he said.
Yeah. Wait, that was actually like perfect.
My Benny impression is very good. I'll whip it out again later. You other guys got stuff to say? I'll say what I think happened afterwards, but
I don't know if I've got a heap here. I don't recall reffing you guys much or at all.
We only versed you once or twice as well.
Yeah, so. There's another one that I just didn't see much.
That's fair. It didn't help. We also were low for most of the tournament, so
yeah.
Cool. My thoughts is we had I'm pretty sure our like core strategy, which I won't divulge into. I won't leak. I always get BP scolds me every time I do one of these review prediction streams and I give away too much.
Come on, I give away more. You got this.
No. Strategically, what we were doing and the setups we had to get into bases were like, we were really happy with them. We were really good. And there's a small adjustment we're making for green and red in terms of how we were doing stuff. We should hopefully net some more bases for us. But yeah, strategy and our setups and everything, really good. But what was really hard is we relied very heavily on these setups to get into bases, for instance. But all of the setups were predicated on both people being alive. And what we really, really struggled with, especially on that last day, is like it was always one person up and one person doubled with the other person. Or like it would be the other way. And like even like my attack with Mikey on that last day was like, it was always like he was dead, I was up, or I was dead and he was up. It was really, really hard to get both of us up. And a bit of that was, I think my timing, I've never really noticed my timing not being good on H2 at previous H2 tournaments, but this one I really felt it. I was like, I feel like I'm playing on Nexus against these guys right now. Like I can't win a duel like while I'm down. This is crazy. So I think in our training, we actually put all of our attention was onto like setups to get into bases and to like how I want to hold out, set up defenses and stuff. And we spent 0 time on the timing. And I think over the course of a pre-nuts, I think, yeah, putting 0 time into timing when you've only got like the 2 days to get used to the timing, I think that is a lot of what bit us in the ass. So I think we don't want to make too many drastic changes because we're pretty sure that was a lot of it.
Interesting that you say like that about not putting any emphasis on your timing, because actually it reminds me, I didn't think of it before. I definitely remember watching a few games where you guys you're like out of it in field points, and you've obviously made a shift and a move, and you're starting to like you're just catching up with bases, and you're just trying to get more bases than everyone else quicker. Yeah, and I did watch you guys win a few games that way, so that's an interesting like tie into your observation or to your comments.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure almost every single game we played, we were down on pack, and I would attribute a lot of that not to like not being in the position to get pack, but like just straight up not winning duels. I think the tag ratios
aren't like indicative of that, and
but
like,
also
you guys
those
all
tag
have
ratios,
knives
a lot
as
of
well.
those tag ratios are bloated from being we started like 13th or something.
Yeah.
And we got to like 13th, 11th, and then we climbed quite a bit. But like on the last day, and like from like, yeah, our tag ratios were not that good. Yeah, no, it pretty much. I mean, like Benny said, he was feeling pretty good on duels. Beefy's always pretty good on duels, but like I know for Mikey, Jesse, and I, it was like, yeah, it was hard. I don't know where I'm pretty sure I didn't have a single tag ratio above 100% on the last day. Pretty sure I was like 85 or less every game. But nationals, we've got quite a lot more training time, and I know we are very much planning our blocks where, like, you know, we've got like the 3-hour block or whatever, like that last hour when everyone's a bit tired, it's just going to be just timing. And we're going to do like not just 1 hour of it as well. We're going to do quite a lot of timing practice. Because, yeah, once again, we were happy with the strategy. We've made a small adjustment to it, which we think will improve it again. And our setups, like when we had 2 people up, we got into bases almost 100% of the time. It was just we needed 2 people up. So yeah, we'll make some adjustments, and yeah, I think we'll be back to where we should be. Anything interested on our whim? Not. I'd say that like 8 to 9 minute jump is probably us being like, damn, we're losing, and then we like
we should go get bases.
yeah. So we pulled out a few of the like.
I hate to say it, but it's kind of all Sharkies in that one, because your
Really,
one
they
goes
just drop?
exactly with every other team. Yeah.
I guess
Your 11 minutes though looks very good. You're 11 to 12. I think.
Is that good? It's going down, isn't it?
Wait.
We're
no,
the weird
Yeah.
and blue one.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah. Average in most, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I've got nothing else to say. If no one else has anything else to say, we can pick a stand-up player and we can move
Like,
on.
it just feels like you guys need to be like just have 10% more in the tank, and like you're chilling. Like whatever that 10% is if it's the jewels, if it's this, if it's that, like it just needs to be that 10%, and then I think you guys are like back at 5th, like fighting for like the golden game.
Yeah, I think so as well. All right. Who was everyone's MVP for this tournament, and why was it Benny?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Benny, because like after Prenats 2, I was kind of low on Benny, on the Benny stall.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Benny as well, because that kind of turnaround from stats that we saw like one to the next is huge,
Especially from a
It's
young player.
impressive.
Like he's like, how old is he?
16. 16, yeah.
and I mean some of that could be contributed to playing like lower down on the ladder as well. But I think
he like kept up a lot of those stats on the even.
yeah,
even
okay.
up
I
towards
think
the
it's
end.
still worth talking and like mentioning and bringing to light. So
I'll go you, Holmes.
Oh no! This is the
you?
first. This is the first. I don't think I've ever been picked as an MVP. This is awesome. Say more. Please.
I mean, yeah, you got like 1.7 bases when your teammates weren't really. You kept your tag ratio high. Like it's impressive stats.
Oh yeah, I mean up to that point. Don't look at my last day stats. My last day stats
Yeah.
were a completely different story.
We can put that down to being tired, right?
I wasn't tired. I promise you, I wasn't tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just suck. Honestly, has everyone picked one? Well, actually, you haven't picked one. Oh no, you did, Benny.
I picked Benny, but now I feel bad for you.
No. I don't think I deserve it. I think that was.
I think because like you're always there, people like, unless you have like a crazier performance or something, like I think everyone
Sure.
just kind of overlooks it. And because you're here as well, it's like, oh, I'm gonna like
wanna
suck
glaze
him
me in
off while he's
person.
right here.
Yeah.
I think we normally do the
I'm here
opposite.
for-
I think we
Gas me
normally
up
go,
to my
he's
face.
here, screw that guy.
Holy shit on that
No,
person.
I think this is the most standout performance you've had on your team. Is in like
Really
notably above the rest.
interesting.
I mean, yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's true, except for like, I think it's not because you played better. I think it's just because the rest of your team weren't as high and you were just still there,
Sure.
which is good.
Yeah. Not the last day. I think last day I was the worst player on the team. For sure, 100%.
Well, I mean, coming back to like talking about Jam in the previous one, if your last day was that bad and your stats are still like leveling out to here and averaging out to here over the 2 days.
Well, these stats don't include the last days. This is the issue. This is only up to
no.
Cascade 2.
Right.
I
I take it back. You suck.
I would not be there. Anyway,
The stats are going to be terrible though. That's depressing.
let's move on. BL Aftershock. We know what to do. You know the rules. We'll be back. We'll be back. Okay, boom. In 7th place, we had Eclipse, up 3 from predictions, much to Wax's chagrin, after crapping on them the entirety of the last prediction stream.
Right, have you refreshed stream yet to get rid of the box transition on every slide? It's
No, I
only on
have
every
not, and
second
I'm not
now.
doing it.
It's only on every second. Like
I don't care, bro. I don't care. Too bad. It is what it is, you know? Up 3 from predictions, we had Taipan, Noodle, Potato, Mopar, Orcarai, and the Trickster, Tricky. Wax, I'm going to make you start, bro. What have you got to say for yourself?
I'm just like Noodle's crazy. What the hell? Pug's the bad
That does
twin.
not look
Noodle's
like the Noodle I remember versing in the arena.
I saw this Noodle when I was reffing a little bit. Like he was last lining from blue and like doing pretty well, and like maybe I wasn't reffing, maybe I was playing. Like he was holding his own, which was nice to see. And like looking at these stats, like Potato doing potato things, like maybe not hit 1.5, like not getting denied. Oh no, he is getting denied, but like I keep mixing those up. I feel like those two should be swapped. I don't know why, it just feels wrong. Like Taipan having
I kind of agree with that actually, because I misread it the same way.
yeah, like it feels like it should be destroys denied, and then because it just works nicely. Like I just feel like watching them play never looked amazing, but then they were still doing all right. Like there was a lot of yelling and a lot of this and that, but like they still worked it out when it didn't feel like they were working it out. But they maybe this isn't working it out, and they don't have DP, so they'll be able to be even better with DP. Like
yeah. I mean, I didn't see any of like the blow uppy sort of in the arena arguments that I remember seeing from pre-2, which is like I think maybe one, but it definitely wasn't as bad. But like I think there's an improvement from pre-2 to pre-3 on their attitudes in game and how they were communicating in and throughout a game that's improved.
Well, Mopar was captaining, right? Like that was the thing that was happening.
I think so, but I don't know.
Nah, I mean, we versed him quite a bit on the last day in Ascensions, and he was last lining in green.
Okay.
So
I think they struggled to have someone in green because I don't think Noodle liked being in green.
Yeah, sure. So maybe I mean I'm pretty sure we only ever versed them when they were green, and I think Mopar was in there both times. But it could have just been a green thing, but definitely that one game we versed them on the last day where they eliminated us. Mopar was in the base.
Mopar captain from round robin to Cascade 1 or 2, apparently.
Yeah, okay. So, like looking at all these stats, like this looks like a team that plays like really well as a team, but like I don't understand. Like I just don't know where the next.
I mean, you add deep mix, and it's like
yeah,
really good.
Thing is, you've got a team with all very, very solid pack on pack players.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, the average destroyers are really good as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the destroyers are crazy.
They were all getting bases. Yeah, even the structure like looked weird in the maze, but yeah, like they were often just, you know, a bunch of people experienced in the top end versus those that aren't. So they were just always getting those extra wins.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, like the one game we versed them, they held like a 5-man D the entire game and just lost. And we're like,
Yeah,
what are you
I
doing?
did see a couple of games of that.
Yeah, it's like, I guess well done for defending, but yeah, I don't know what's happening.
See, and my issue as well with like Mopa, if you like captaining most of the comp, like they've always had an issue where it felt like they had maybe too many chefs. Like Taipan wants to play one way, and even if he's not captaining, he's gonna play that way, and he's gonna tell people how to play. Like Mopar wants to play a certain way, DP's gonna want to play a certain way, and if they can like get on the same page and like actually utilize Potato well, like I see it a lot at training and stuff where the way that Potato and DP play together is really disjointed, and if they can work that out and then attack well at nationals and
I was
kind
gonna
of have
say.
like a good formula with how they want to play, and Taipan's playing mid or whatever's going to happen, and like they actually play as a team, like they should be fighting for that third place 100%.
Yeah, like a DP Potato attack with like Mopar or Taipan in the mid sounds very strong. So I expect them to go well up from here.
I just worry about the too many chefs. Like if they can't work that out and they can't decide on a way to play, it's going to be an issue.
I think the too many chefs is less of a problem than the potential for the team to like
That as well.
arc up at one another. And I think we saw an improvement this pre-nats with like less arcing at one another. Even I don't recall seeing like many heated conversations out in the foyer, but also I wasn't sitting near them, so maybe
I saw a lot.
just missed that.
Yeah, you just missed.
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I heard a lot.
No, all right.
It wasn't as bad as like
Well,
previously.
I think
thought
like
that
if you
it
add
was as well.
DP to that, and they can work out like if DP's captaining and running, like have him captain from the start and all the way through. I think this like changing a captain in the middle of a comp is like it's a recipe for thirds. And like I back DP as a captain, I back Taipan as a captain, I back like they just need to pick someone and they are the captain the whole way through, and like get these roles set in stone by round robin, and I think they will.
Cool. Has anyone else got anything else they'd like to say about Eclipse before we pick some MVPs?
Not really. Crazy.
No. All right. Who's your picks, gentlemen?
I'm just gonna say Noodle. Like this is pretty good. Like he's still the new guy on the block. He's the youngest player on the team. Like he's just still learning. Like this is like a lot better of a showing from him individually, which is nice to see.
I thought Tricky held up pretty well. I think everyone saw Tricky thrown into the mix, and they're like, Tricky's not at the caliber of these guys. But like, and he might have been a bit weaker, but when he was thrown in, it's not like games seemed to go much worse for them.
No.
Tricky seemed to hold his own.
Yeah, 100%.
Skinny Tricky is goat Tricky. Let's go.
True. I forgot about that. Good man. Good on him.
I'm gonna say Orcry. I think
Mhm.
I think like playing one of the thankless roles of like being a door defender and like still good tag ratio for standing outside a door with people like you can just get pinched and completely messed up some games and your tag ratio is down the drain, but like he's very good brawler, very good comms, like good recracks. I'm gonna say I'll give it to Orcry.
Sure. I'm also going to pick Orcarai because like I was saying before, we really struggled on our attack to get both people up. And I would attribute a lot of that to our elimination game was against Eclipse and Riptide, and Mikey and I were trying to attack the backdoor green with Orcarai, and it was always doubles or just a straight up win, and sometimes we got both of us. So he did a really really good job in that game, especially and put us in the bin. So good man. Cool. Well done, Eclipse. Excited to see what this team looks like with DP. I don't know. See you next time. 6th place. Oh, any things we want to say about the thing? I don't know. Like you said, Runt, it's kind of whack with the with the Sharks one on there, right? Kind of throws everything
It just
out.
seems average. Like it's just like your worm, kind of like
Yeah.
just both just an average-ish game.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. 6th place. We have Rampage down 2 from predictions. On the team, we had Spider Zam, Whippet, Polchrome, Sadlamp. Who wants to get us started with Rampage?
I really liked their structure for the most part. At least the first day, that I remember seeing them, like their structure seemed really, really solid. And I think like we're beginning to see this team start stronger in the earlier phases of a competition and fall off towards the back end. Like maybe they're not adapting as quickly as other teams are, or they're trying to play the same game the whole like start at the first day as they are at the end, which is hurting. But like as a base structure at a starting point at the start of the comp, they're looking really, really good.
Which is interesting because normally their structure is to play for the end of the comp, like play that sort of super defensive game because that's how the Cascades are going to play out.
Mm.
I think looking at these stats, it makes me a lot happier because I think that what I was trying to get across to them might have actually done things because their denied stats not as high as I wanted to, but Fulcrum's at least like 1.6 on destroyed is like so much better for Fulcrum because I think it was like a 1.1 beforehand. Like I still just want to see Max or Zam just like he needs to be getting more of them. He needs to be the highest base average on the team. He's like all these stats I'm looking at are pretty decent. Like the one thing I really don't like is I still do not love the 192 tag ratio. He's just not doing enough with his life in attack. Like I know he defends a lot, but when Spider 3-man attacks, he just needs to be doing more for the team and less for himself. Like that score will win you games sometimes, but there's times where the score won't win you games because you need to get those bases and you need to lunge and you need to do these things. I'm so here for like a 1.3 denied and Polcom getting denied a little bit more because they're like, I did see it a lot where they were at the start of the comp. They were pushing for bases. They were doing more. It just like looks like they switched it up. They were doing the things that they needed to do to improve. Then they just didn't improve. Like they just tampered off again and just didn't look as nice at the end. And they just felt like they should have been the Archangels team that like slipped in if Storm was not playing as well. Like it didn't feel like Archangels should have been there, but they weren't even in that golden game. Like they just kind of like tampered off at the end.
Definitely a team I think we should be seeing like in golden games, even if they're not winning them. They should be in golden games.
Yeah, I mean they went into the final the Ascensions in third and then didn't get a golden game, which was insanely rough.
Like Whippet went crazy last line. Like I just like
Whippet is wild as a last line, particularly for someone that doesn't like have like she's not left-handed, she's not like particularly like long wingspan. Like there's nothing that like looking at Whippet as an individual that makes me go like she would be a fantastic last line. I think she's just got really good like game sense and like an ability to be like more often than not watching the right way, standing in the right position, and being disciplined about what she's doing as a last line.
She's definitely one of the last lines that's like without a proper setup, even on H2 without like a proper setup, she's really hard to get out of the base, like extremely hard. So she's just she's really like calm, or at least when she's last lining from a person attacking her, it looks like she's like really like she never like
gives you something or like
gives you something. Yeah, it's like you really have to do all of the right things to get her out every time. It's hard to catch her out for sure. So like you said, bro, I think a lot of that is just like game sense and just like being calm in the moment, even when you've got, you know, some, you know, pretty fast dudes or long dudes, players coming in to take you out. So yeah.
Also want to give a shout out to Zam. Like I think Zam is like an incredibly talented player, forever living in the shadow of Spider's like consistently high tag ratios that people see, and like I don't think he gets the praise that he deserves as much as he should.
That's the reason he's on the Wells team. Like looking like I just want to see those things, those tiny bit more, like the consistency. They don't train. That's the issue. Like these things would be solved if they trained a little bit more, but it's just so hard for them to do. But I just hope at Nationals with that couple days of training, the whole round robin, all the side events, by the end, they can be consistent enough in their game and their game plan that I heard that this comp, they tried to do less of the other things and they just died on the hill. I'm here for dying on the hill if you work it out in a way where it's consistently winning you games. If they want to die on the hill of their playstyle, then that's fine. Just make sure it's like you are the goats of your playstyle. Like no one wants to play slow against Rampage because they will lose because they're just gonna grind you out so much better than you're gonna grind them out.
Sure. Has anyone got other things they'd like to say about Rampage?
I think they're still dropping their heads on attack, right? They're still just getting sad and just throwing their heads at the door over and over. And you know, like it's that thing we say every comp. It's like don't get sad, like amp up the energy, and it always just goes down throughout the game, right?
Yeah, they don't have a hype man. There's no one hype on this team. It's all just like moderate, like everyone's just kind of vibing. Like there's no energy.
I need someone screaming crap. Cool. If we don't have anything else to say, we can go around and pick an MVP. Who wants to go first?
Zam.
Zam.
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair.
I'll go Spider. I think I think he could probably dive doors more for his team and stuff, but to shut down the maze the way he does, I think sometimes he doesn't get enough recognition for. Like this comp, I think he amped it up even more, and the maze anywhere near him was just locked out. Like, yeah, very impressive.
Max?
I'm not going to say MVP, but I'm going to say like nice to see from Fulcrum. He just needs to take that extra step. Like this is looking slightly better. He's got the above 100% tag ratio. He's got good destroys. Like he got denied a little bit because he was cowboying. I'm here for it. Just do it a little bit more. Work out where to play. Have some more confidence. After they got kicked out, he was a sad boy. But like, just like believe in what you're doing a little bit more, and then you can be there.
I'm going to pick Spider as well. But for the same reason as Runt, like the some of the games we versed him, like when he was occupying that space in the middle of the arena where like all of the traffic kind of flows towards, when he was like in that space, it was really, really hard to deal with. And you were always like, it was hard to catch him out. You're always like copping a death to then like hopefully try and get him, you know. It was yeah, just really good positioning in that middle of the arena and stuff. And always like anytime you take a duel against Spider, he's always near the edge of a panel. You know, and he might think he's not going to hold the panel, and then you've lost the duel because you got lazy, and he's behind the panel and you're not. So yeah, kudos to him. But cool. Anything else we want to say?
Good comp for Whippet. She's my actual MVP.
I'm glad someone picked her. I think she deserved at least a pick.
Did anyone watch their final games and see how they tanked out?
It just looked like they were lost, and they just like didn't like play well enough, like from memory. I'm not 100% sure, but that's from memory.
Sure. Cool beans. Well, yeah. Well done to Rampage. Yeah. I'm sure we will see them back, and they're gonna be one of the teams vying for those golden games and potentially making the finals as well. So,
also just quickly, I think it might have been Dragons as well. So Dragons is their kryptonite, as we said in the.
I think it was them, Dragons, and us actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fifth place, I mean, there's their worm. I keep forgetting to flick to this. My bad. But
they solid worm, I feel.
Yeah,
fifth
points are
place.
actually quite high. They've picked up their points this comp a lot.
We have Dragon D's up 2 from predictions. We had VG Master, Finn, Gustus, Nufa, Shifter, and Azoran. Runt, do you want to start us off with the Dragons? you prophesize this.
Cop it, everybody else.
Hey!
Pretty sure we all agreed that this was the thing.
No,
Like...
do not try and be like that, Brock. It was Run tonight. We were the hype mans for the Dragon.
I know where I put them, but I was also very like, I was definitely in agreement. This team could go like,
yeah.
I mean, and they're everyone's kryptonite. Like,
I'm just going to bathroom and I'll be back.
Okay, easy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team, like, they're finally all very, like, they don't really have any weaknesses per se. They've got Shifter, who's a solid anchor, and they're not moving around anymore. It's like I was saying in the pre-stream, I'm like, if you just play the places well, you'll do well. And Shifter just played the places well and did a lot better than they were when they were moving around in a bunch of different mazes. So yeah, that was good, which meant that they didn't really have any gaps. They weren't dropping bases early, which meant that they could be free to play their base game early and get that lead and hold it. Whereas previous iterations of Dragons, they often got the lead and then they let it slip, or like they were just down a base to start, so they'd have to do something crazy. But the defense held up very well, which meant that they could play the game normally, and like VG could be played to the full of his ability, for example. Nufa did very well in the midfield, I thought. He was, yeah, Nufa always seems to just win duels from the, like, kill people from the open, which is always amusing to watch. He'll just walk around in the open just ganking people, so that's funny. Yeah, they played an impressively good standard game, and they still did their dumping as well, which threw a lot of people off, and people didn't counter and they just got rolled by their dumps. So that's always fun to see. These guys could play both games. I think this is maybe the first comp where we've ever been able to say they decisively played both games very well.
Looking at these stats, VG is just so consistent. Like, it's so good to see. Like, there might have been like one comp. I think I remember him being like a little bit lower. But
It was like a Hobart pre-nuts one time.
Yeah. He's always he's just always there. And like, it's good to see that Finn is also being there as well. Just need to bump up that tag ratio slightly, and then we're chilling. But I think it's probably because Finn then goes home and maybe just like gets sat on a bad door or whatever. Like, I can imagine Finn going to front door of green or something. Like,
I'd guess it's on the attack, right? Like, they do attack early, which does, you often think the tag ratio is rough at the start.
That is true. That is true.
They're base hungry, but yeah.
Like 1.8 on two of their plays is really fucking good. Like,
It's crazy.
With the denied for each of those being 0.9, 1.1, like one across the board for a 1.8 each is great.
Gus is my goat. Look at his denied stat. Let's go, Gus.
Let's go.
Pretty sure we talked about Gus in the past for having like two denied or very close to a 2 denied. Like,
it was very close.
Ending it.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Good man.
Can't learn when where your limit is if you're not trying to push it, right?
It was really nice. True. It was really nice to see with this team. It felt like they had a plan more often than not. And like, there was a lot of 3-man attacks. There was a lot of things that they were trying to do, and like they were trying to be proactive. Like, there was games against like us and Vikings where they were like winning at the start of the game because they were being proactive. They got both of our bases. They like did things, and they actually controlled the game. It felt like they had an identity that wasn't dumping, which was so nice to see. Like, whatever they were doing in some of those games, they just need to keep replicating that, and then also slow it down when they need to. I will say one thing that makes those 3-man attacks harder is finding Nufa. Like, when Nufa's like on a little journey in Narnia, like trying to shoot some people,
quest.
like, that's an issue. Like, he needs to really like listen to Gus or whoever's. I think Gus is captaining still, right?
I thought VG must has been the captain the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Finn's in the chat right now, but yeah, I'm pretty sure VG must has like been the captain every time he's played.
VG stays out. Like,
Gus is the captain.
Gus captain still, yeah. So like, if Gus can coordinate these 3-man attacks, their defense is solid enough to like hold up while they do it. And like, if they catch their timings, because people are like, oh, it's the Dragons. Like, I'm versing Storm, and like, I got to focus on Storm. Like, they might be able to win a lot more games. Like, they won 2 games off us. Like, it's because I suck, but like, this is like, they did well in those games, and it felt like they did more than they usually would, and they were just more consistent in things that they wouldn't usually do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard it as well, but Nufa's voice like was completely the worst I've ever heard. Yeah. Man, I was sitting there in the foyer on like the start of day 2, and I was like watching the scoreboard, and I heard like Mickey Mouse behind me. I'm like, who's this? Like, who brought Mickey Mouse? I was like, oh shit, that's Nufa. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was refereeing a game, and it was like Nufa, and he's like, It was too funny.
It is really funny for everyone else, but it is unfortunate. Yeah. Cool. I don't. Has anyone else got some things they'd like to add?
I want to add. I mean, these guys did so well, and they had like a pretty bloody new player on the team who, like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
he
just about to
he
talk
struggled
about it,
clearly.
actually, yeah.
Like, there's no sugarcoating it. He struggled at these high tier games, as you'd expect. You can't ask for more than that. But the team still placed fifth. Like, that's really, really high for a new
someone
player.
He's denied.
that's his like first time in like at that end of the comp, and like previously playing on the team that's like
Got last place.
wooden spooned or like close
Yeah.
in the wooden spoon game. The previous two, like that's still very respectable for like similar to Benny. I think is like where we saw Benny at pre-2. I'd like to see Azoran like fix this by Nats, and I think like with these players around him and time and training, like there's enough room to do that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take a quick look at their worm because I keep forgetting
Really,
to
they have
flip
a
to
good
it.
worm. Yeah, they do.
And they got a very
Oh.
nice worm.
Yep. So
Yeah, it kind of lines up with everything you guys were saying, huh?
lots of early bases, and yeah, open the game very strong.
Happy days. Have you guys got anything else you'd like to add, or are we gonna choose an MVP?
Just every like this team just looks so much more solid. Like I really enjoyed how they were playing. Just drop the dumps completely. Just give up. Commit to
don't
these.
drop the
dumps are
dumps.
fine.
It's
The
really
dumps are
funny.
fine.
You keep on beating
Especially
people.
with how mad it makes Wax.
They
Right.
play them
Only
at the
do it
correct
against
times.
us.
They play it at the correct times, and they get a lot of wins for it.
Like it's definitely possible to counter their dubs. People just need to be prepared for it and able to execute it at the right at the right time. That's on the teams around them. That's not their problem. If they get countered every time they dump and it doesn't work, they'll probably stop dumping.
Happy days. MVPs. Let's do it.
It's so hard to go past VG.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna be boring again and go VG.
I'm gonna
Wax.
be nice and go Finn because like realistically, Finn hasn't played for super long, and they're already being very consistent at the top of their team's ladder, solo ladder, and like doing well and like they're doing it cleanly as well. Like 1.7 deny. Oh no, I keep mislooking at it. They get denied too much. God damn it! But like 1.8 is still really really good, and they're saying that they're not even the main attacker. Like that's from mid. That's or second out. Like that's pretty fucking good. Like
That's
I'm
very
here for
good. My shout out is going to go to Gus because Beefy, for the entirety of Pre-Nats 3, didn't get denied once. All his bases were clean. And his base stat wasn't even that bad. Like he was like still getting some bases. Didn't get denied once until the last day we versed them. And Beefy's like lunged, like Gus was in the box at red. Beefy's lunged him out. And he's hit his head, his bald head, and then it's reflected off of his head and hit the base. And then Gus denied him straight away. That was the only deny Beefy got the entire tournament. And it was just really funny because Beefy thought it was funny, but he was yeah, bold on bold. He was molding about it a bit, but yeah, I know that was just a really funny moment. So, but unironically, Finn, yeah, he gets my pick as well. Like you said, Wax, like being relatively, like compared to the players around at this end of the tournament, being one of the newer ones and putting out stats like a 1.8 base average is yeah, super commendable. So well done, Finn.
Actually, Finn trash talked me a whole bunch, and I loved it. I'm
the
so
shit
here
talk
for
is
it.
so
It was
good.
great.
Easy
It's
base,
such
easy
a good
points.
time. Yeah, he's scared. He's scared.
Yeah. So good.
Good man. Alrighty, moving on. Yeah, well done, Dragons. We'll see you back soon. 4th place. We have Storm, down 1 from predictions in that darn dreaded,
That's awful.
awful 4th place position that I know all too well feels is the worst thing on the planet. Brock, on your team you had Madcan, Shock, Moss, Firebird, Cyrix, Bones. Do you want to get started, or do you want the rest of the boys?
No, I want to
go
get bullied first. I want to get bullied first.
All right, get bullied.
Yep.
I mean, I'll say the
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah.
To a team deny. That hurts. That's crazy.
Which? I think there was more than one. Which one? Which one are you referring to?
I mean, that was the one in the final game that put you guys in fourth. I thought. Yeah. So that was rough to watch. But also it was like Bones at blue and Cairns denied him, which was not the pairings that I'd expect to randomly be denying each other early into the game. So that was wild to see.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of a crisis at the same time. You guys keep going.
What do you think happened with, like, I'm here for getting denied, but like what happened with you, Brock, like getting denied so much? What do you
what happened with me? I have a bad habit of throwing shots in when I probably shouldn't, and I also definitely need to spend some time on my specific angles that I'm holding while I'm taking.
Yeah, okay. Like in general, or just like phaser discipline and overall?
It's a little of both. Like in general, especially my earlier takes, I need to be way more disciplined on where I'm standing. There was a lot I like ate on the phaser. Like I know I ate a bunch over the green wall that I thought I was clear, and I had my phaser too high rather than further back, and I wore a bunch, like learning that lesson really slow. Yeah, that needs a lot of cleaning up, but that's something we've known about for a little while and we've talked about, and I am working on.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what, like, when I was thinking about this, I didn't know what angle to go on this. Like, I think this is like exactly what we were kind of saying on the pre-net stream. Like, it doesn't feel like the kids are like as confident here yet. Like Moss still went crazy.
In fairness, like Moss and Bones haven't played this arena at all yet.
Yeah,
like this was their first time in this arena.
And I remember that's one of the things we said, like on the pre-Nats 2 stream. Like it needed, like I think this is it. Like I think at Nats, like all these things are cleaned up. Like this won't happen. You guys will be in finals. Like it just needs a little bit more time for Moss and Bones. Like,
I mean, Bones usually looks a lot better than this on paper. I think Bones struggled coming into this arena and coming back to H2 a lot more than anticipated.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, Brock, have you got any? Obviously, you don't want to give stuff away, but is there anything that you could attribute to what happened on the last day?
I mean, the last day sucked. We could do nothing but get second. I think we won the first or the second game, and then it was like straight seconds all the way, like for the next 9 games or something. It was demoralizing. We had like we've identified some issues. I think we've already fixed a number of them. So like I had a bunch of trouble like effectively pulling 3-mans where I was just losing so much, like the Nuffa problem you were talking about, like finding the third to like get a hit when I'm like, I know there's an opportunity somewhere and I've got like a limited amount of time to get people and get there to like execute on the opportunity and then reset and set back up. And I know I lost a lot on finding people or not finding people. I think we're working on that. I think it's a lot better already. I know we had I let us fall into a really bad pattern of like we just play a really identifiable game. I know Wax, you picked up on it really badly. I
think that's fine though. Like I'm here.
Yeah, but I think to the point where like you can just wait us out. We pull a 3-man pretty consistently at like a certain time frame, and you're like, cool. We just smash Storm. We get a couple of bases, and we like keep playing the rest of the game. And now we're up on them. Like.
I think for me it was more the dumping. Like I felt like I could pick when you guys were like ready to go. Like it was over. Like a dump's gonna happen or something's gonna happen.
The dumping was only ever when we're not when we're comfortably in third. Like, I'm not dumping because I think I'm winning. I'm not dumping because I think I'm like this close to first from second. I'm not dumping to lose a game. I'm dumping because I'm losing a game if I don't do something drastic. Like. If I can play every game and never dump, I absolutely will. I just dump because we're bad sometimes.
Yeah. I know we're a bit the same. We're like we aren't afraid to pull out a dump as aftershock, but it's like it is only when you said comfortably in third. I would say uncomfortably sitting in third for the whole game.
Dude, when I joined Storm, like this is going back before Bendigo, man. I spent like 18 months getting nothing but thirds in Queensland. I am comfortable in third because I've been there for so damn long.
Okay, sure. But yeah, I think no, even when I'm with you there. Like, even if you pull out that dump and you manage to like sneak a win, like a Hail Mary win, you're like, it doesn't even like feel that good. It doesn't even feel good sometimes. You're like, we should not have been able to pull
if we pull a dump and we go, I think we're very good at like pulling games back. Like even the ones we're not winning, we're damn close on it. And I think when we pulled the dump, we're not. I think we're out of games by like too far.
One of the things I wanted to say, but these scores don't reciprocate that.
Give me the beeswax.
Is I swear I watch Cairns play and it's not the same Cairns, but then these scores look okay. Like, but he still doesn't feel like him on pro. Like, you play him at home and he feels so much more confident. He feels like at a higher level, and then you watch some games and he's really struggling in some of these games. But this scoreboard doesn't show that.
Definitely, so, he's still adjusting to not captaining and not running things, and and we're still adjusting to like incorporating him to the team. Like, because I think he plays, or at least played, very differently with Spartans than we do in turn. And maybe you look at Spartans, you look at us, and it's like similar-ish teams because we did play somewhat similar, I suppose. But like internally, the way the structure stands inside the team is different from one to the other. So,
I just can remember a couple games where I was like, Cairns does not look beautiful right now. Like, this is not a clean game.
Yeah. I know there was a game we came out of that like Runt and Twinkles put him through the absolute feeder. I think in the first couple of minutes he was like 2-13 or something and not having a great time. And like I didn't know why he was getting mad because I was doing okay, but but like those are just like. There's a lot of little 1%ers to fix. A lot of little like, if I can figure out my 3-mans a bit quicker, if I can be less of a predictable tier. Like, there's lots of little things. If I can clean it up, or we can clean it up, it's
realistically, you guys are playing the meta and you're playing it at a high level, and there's no clear holes or anything. Like, you guys will be out there and that's again.
For sure.
I'd like to think so. We've had a couple of we've had a few chats about pre-Nats 3 and about like different things we want to change, things we want to keep, things we like, things we didn't. So, I mean, Cairns and I got into it the other night. I'm doing the leagues up at Sunny Coast of the Road. I think we sat down while there was a game playing. There was a map there, and we ended up talking for the like 12 or 15 minutes, just like nerding out over different strategies and formations and like pathing and. Yeah, I think like in the lead up now and the run up to Nats, I think we've got a lot of time to spend and prepare and adjust, and I think we're trying and working on utilizing that time. So
this is like just the wake up call. That's it. That's all.
Yeah,
like,
I said it to Lauren before the comp, and I know we've talked about it afterwards. Like, I think it was as much as fourth sucks and as awful as it was, like in that moment and that night, like. I think it was way better for us to get a fourth now than it was for us to like get into finals, regardless of where we position. Like if we made it in, right? Like I think the kick up the butt and the reality check was way healthier for us as a team.
Yeah, I think it's good.
100%. Have we got any things to say about Storm before we pick an MVP?
Crazy.
I want to be bullied more than that. There's more you can say. There's more that you know.
Okay, one thing I will bully about. Like, there's a lot of games where like I feel like you're 30 and 50. Like that's it's like a lot of games where I feel like you get bullied a lot because like there's a lot of decisions being made, and while those decisions have been made, you're not shooting anyone. I think if you can be better at doing that, then like that's like a solid just upgrade overall. But these stats don't show that, which is. Like, I expected you to be on like an 80%, 85%, but like 95% isn't the end of the world, and it's like balanced itself out in a healthy manner. Like,
that's also one of the things I've like hugely struggled with since like taking on like running games with Storm. Like, even like look back at Hobart and Bendigo, it's something I struggled with for those two. Like, it's that and like me letting myself get denied stupidly or like not not managing myself properly. So that's just discipline, I think, a lot of.
Who's your MVPs, everyone?
I won't go with her, but I think Cyrex normally sits below the 100, so it's good to see that she's kicked that up. But I think Moss, 175. Like this was his first time in the maze. Did you say?
Yeah, hasn't been to Albury before.
Yeah, he's always like you're not getting in the door that he was watching. He's always very clean as Nanka. I wouldn't say he wasn't doing any of the attacks that you were hyping us up for it in the prediction stream.
No, I didn't pull him out as much as I was playing. In fairness, though, we spent a lot of time trialing different things. Like we had, we moved Bones into a float position a couple times. Like we tried other things and other positions that weren't like utilizing the Moss attack. So yeah, I hyped that up for nothing, but I think that's still there, and I don't think that's not something I will draw. Like it's something I will draw on at some point.
Yeah, I'm keen to see it
over Nats. So
Sure. Wax.
I was gonna say Moss, but Brendan stole that. But I'll say Moss anyway. I think like first time in the maze did really solid. Like he's one of those players that actually like just gets on my nerves because like you shoot him, he doesn't die, and then he laughs in your face, and you're like, oh, all right, cool.
In fairness, I get that because I get it in training.
Yeah. I don't know. Something he does is just like so good on H2 where you shoot him and he never dies, and you're like, cool, go next, and then he laughs, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
Good man.
He did really well. So,
well, just because it makes Wax man, I'm gonna pick Moss as well.
Well,
I'm a low bar.
I'm picking Shock because Shock is like my attacking buddy forever. He is just so unbelievably reliable, and he gets away with the wildest stuff that he absolutely shouldn't.
Happy days. Good man. All right. Well, yeah. Obviously, Brock fourth sucks. I know, but you'll be back in the mix. You'll be up there for sure. Don't sweat it.
A solid line as well. Like finish the game well.
Yeah.
Start of the game maybe not as hot, but it's still like
which is something we've actually talked about before seeing Worms here. So I that's also something I think we've identified.
Yeah, you guys actually finished the comp on the highest average score.
Oh wow.
Which
is interesting. Like
I expect that though.
I think even going back a couple of years, we were generally one of like the slower teams that would try to keep games smaller.
That has definitely changed though. Like there's no world where that's still the same.
Yeah, that's definitely changed. I don't know if I can pinpoint where or when or why.
Right.
That's definitely
sorry. You guys aren't the solid yellow one.
We're the solid yellow.
No, they
are.
are.
You are the solid? Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are the like broken yellow.
Oh yeah, no, I just can't see because I've got the Discord or stream room controls in front of the legend.
Alrighty. Yeah, we'll see you back soon, and you're gonna be causing some trouble for everyone, I'm sure. We're in the top 3 now. Here we have it. Archangels up 9 from predictions.
Oh way.
Shurikitty, Rizzler, Sega, Celery, and Mantis. Yeah, what a climb. What a story. What a thing. If you want to hear more about it, Blitzer actually did a podcast with Mantis and Sega, just talking about like their team's journey, and then talking a lot about the Pre-Nats 3 journey as well. So if you want to hear more about how to climb nine positions from predictions and do a massive climb, like where did they start on that last day?
11th, I'm pretty sure.
I've got it here somewhere. Hang on.
Which is crazy.
Archangels, 11th.
So, yeah, if you want to learn how to do that, watch that watch that podcast. Yeah, I don't know who wants to get started on the Archangels.
I want to say one thing, just one thing. I want to see this team like consistently playing in like the top 6. I think top 8, top 6. I think like I don't want to see them down in like I don't know no more 11ths, no more like sitting in the middle of the pack and climbing at the back end of the comp, which is good. I want to see them like they've proven they can be up there. I want to see them up there all comp. for
I have
better or
ice cream on
worse.
the line, so if they really want ice cream, they need to get into the finals. Free ice cream. Like looking at this is crazy. Like seeing Shura Kitty like do this, I reckon she must have learnt so much from Prenats 2, feeling so much better. Like she is her. Like she's just doing so well. Like 1.6, like not under 1 denied. Like get some denies as well. Like the amount of times I swear I've seen her get the stupidest denies ever, just because she just runs at someone and absolutely destroys them. Like Rizzler was performing. That's the last line. Like he was doing really well in last line, and then coming out an attack and doing pretty solid by the looks of it. Maybe getting denied slightly too much, but
I saw Celery last line a bunch on the first day, and Rizzler last lining more on the second day. I think that was a good swap.
Yeah, I think Rizzler under was actually really solid. Like he has really good like positioning, and then when someone dives him and he gets caught off guard, he moves a lot. So like he gets good timing on people and stuff. Come on, Runt.
Yep.
Hype your boys up.
Yep. So it's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people are throwing it down to luck, which there's some aspect to it. So I think a lot of games they won by a tiny amount, and people were going, what is that? But I think anytime you win by like less than a K, less than 3K kind of thing, both teams kind of deserve to win. So like the Storm game, I would say, for example, either Storm or this team deserved to be in finals based on that game, and you can trace it back to every game they played. It's like the one with what's it called, Aftershock. It was again very close. So it's like you can go. I think Aftershock deserved to win that game just as much because the margins were so close. But in saying that, it's like I don't know if you can take it away from them. Like you can't be like, they just got through to finals just because lucky slight amount of points, because it's like it goes both ways. If second place team deserves to win, these guys also deserve to win every game that they won. To do that 5-7 times in a row, whatever they did.
Yeah, I don't think you just get lucky 5 or 7 times in a row.
The consistency is super commendable.
So and like there's an element of like to be on a dime 7 times in a row. It's like that's technically luck, but like they deserve to win every game that they won, and I would argue that they deserve to win slightly more than every other team because they had balls, man. The balls were crazy. Pretty much every game they won on a base with genuinely 5 seconds left. Shura Kitty, I think, took 2 of them. Mantis took another 1 of them, and it was always a swing. They were always down with like 30 seconds to go, and they genuinely get like 2 bases in the last 30 seconds and swing it over. Like to take the base with 3 seconds left is the craziest ballsy thing ever. And they were all intentional, except for Mantis. So like every other one, like Shura Kitty was looking at the gun going, I got this, and sending those shots, which is very commendable to do that in an Ascension game where a denial at the end of the game has and can cause you to lose the game. So I don't know, balls alone, like that's not luck in my opinion. I think the main aspects would be training. These guys have been training with me every Thursday, twice, meaning they're playing like 2 or 3 times a week. Our training sessions have been very productive, I would say. I think we've watched these guys in our home arena become so much better as individual players. It's not like individually they are all so much better than they were going into Hobart Nats, like just on a fundamental level. And then like when they get dropped to bottom track, we had like a really good strategy to hook them, like this and this and this, and then they're like, cool, we know what we need to do, let's do it. And then they executed the plan very well to get into the finals. And they ran. And I'm again, like I was there, but I'm not trying to take away from any of it. Sega made a lot of calls in game, which I was very impressed by. I'm like, I was not expecting him to make this call, and he did, and it was always very well timed. So
I think one of the craziest things and interesting things for me is how they did it all from blue as well. Like it's like the base that was statistically the worst, but I think in those games they play so differently, and like people are so, there's a lot more nerves, people are going to get knocked out, so they do more stupid things so the base that is harder to shoot, which it is because the base doesn't fucking work, like it can be good in those games, and it can mean those like you miss that one shot, you get 2 shot denied because you weren't as focused enough and blah. Like, and one other thing for me, like one of the things that I struggled with a lot with Archangels was Celery was just really good on like a door. and like, especially from blue, he was really good from TARDIS, and he would just be. If you went to him, he'd beat you. If he walked away, he would just be in Narnia. Like it was just like he was really solid for this team. I think they're gonna lack that at Nats, but I think with Dom's experience from like pre-Nats 2, like and
there's something Tiger.
Easy
as well.
point.
It's Tiger.
Okay.
It's not easy points. Yeah.
Okay, like I reckon this is like it's looking solid. Like these guys can, in my eyes, if they just like work out whatever the hell was going wrong on day 1, to fix it on day 2, so that they're more consistent instead of doing this cringe ass climb that's going to make them all exhausted and bugged and like they just need to work out the consistency and then do it when it matters. Like instead of like dragging it out.
Yeah.
They just look so much cleaner. They look better. Like I'm liking a lot of the things I see from them. They just need to clean some things up, and then it's just going to be like they could just do this again. Like they could do this. Like they're solid enough on H2 to do this. They seem confident in this maze. Like I don't think there's a bad base from them. All 3 bases seem pretty solid.
I remember on the car ride home, I'm like, man, that was tough to play Archangel in finals. Like, that's not good for us. And I'm like, that's that. Like, probably won't happen again. And George is like, why not? It's just as likely to happen there. I'm like, you're right. You're 100% right. Can't count them out. Like, they genuinely had easily the capacity to be in finals.
Like, I misread finals because I didn't realize how bad individually we did in the 3rd game. And I didn't know that you guys got 7. I thought that Archangels got 7. I literally remember me saying to you, I think Archangels have won. Because, I thought you 2 switched your base counts. Well, so I thought that they had actually, like, done better than both of them.
I didn't lie to you about the base count. Sega lied to me. And I'm like, oh, wait, they also... I was also thinking they won based on that base count. I'm like, goddamn.
Yeah, like... Realistically, it was pretty close, wasn't it? I don't remember exactly how
really
close.
I think it's commendable the fact that they were well in the finals against both of our teams. Like, they were not severely outgunned by any means. Like, the fact that we both thought they were a contender for first, whereas when they got finals in Pre-2 and Hobart, everyone's like, they're not really in it, are they? But like in this finals, they were like a legitimate, proper threat. Which I don't know, commends to the fact that they deserve to be there because they're playing at that level in that final game.
I will say one thing that's a little negative. I just want to see Sega keep his head more level. Like there's just so many times that I have seen him reffing, playing against them where he just he's the captain. He needs to step up and be more like less mad and less yelling and just he needs to. Because if you're getting yelled at all the time by your captain, it's gonna get you're going to feel a little shit. Like you screw up. Oh, let's swap base. Do this. He just needs to calm down a little bit. Just needs to get his players in spots they want, and then play the game how he wants to and stuff. Because he can do it. Like he did that last day. He was the man. He'd given hype speeches and shit. Hyping the boys up. It seems crazy. So he needs to do it again.
Happy days. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about Archangels before we pick MVPs?
I think we all should just pick the same MVP. There's no...
We say it at the same. We count down and say it on 3.
I've got I don't know. I feel like I've got a different one for a different reason. I don't know. I'm not confident. It'll be weird if we all say it and I'm just the one dude that doesn't say the same name. I'm not doing it. Wax, who's your MVP?
I'm just gonna pick Shirky because she was she looked so much so good. It was just very clean overall. Everything I was seeing from her.
Yeah, I mean, I'll also go Shirokitty. The best thing is she just keep ganking me in the back. I'm like, why would anyone be there?
Yeah, she's in the stupidest spots, and I'm like,
the exact spot that I told her to be. God damn it! It's the exact runs that we worked on at Pre-2, and everything we discussed at Pre-2, she improved on, and yeah, exactly that.
Rock?
I'm torn between Shirokitty and Sega purely because I know Sega's just stepped up to captain and has done a phenomenal job captaining into finals. I think it's to pass over that is criminal, but at the same time, Shirokitty played a phenomenal competition and is establishing herself as one of the best players in the comp at the moment.
I would say on Shurikitty, for the longest time we've been going, she has so much potential. She's a very intelligent player, but she's never been able to bump the stats up to the potential. This comp, it felt like she bumped her full performance to that level of like getting towards that upper level where for the longest time we've been like, she can get there, she can get there, she can get there. This was the first comp where we've seen her bump it up there. Whether it will be a consistent thing, like it's hard to consistently break into that like top level consistently. So I'm hoping to see her to get an Nats, but yeah, she's on the verge of being like, yeah, one of those elite players kind of thing.
My pick is Mantis because, like you were saying, Runt, Mantis was the one that got that last second base in our elimination game. We were winning. We were in like the winning seat. We had the entire game was at our base. We got in a bunch of pretty much free like Archangel's bases where like we're chilling, and I'd like filled into last line, I think, and then I remember like she just solo lunged me from backdoor, got my phaser, and then ran into the box, put 3 shots on, and they won the game.
The way she explains it in the podcast like makes me want to cry. She's just like, I just walked in and shot the base, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she did. She just casually put me in the bin and then got the base. It was crazy, and like you can see like the like maybe half a second later, the 3 phases come in lunging, but they're all just like a little too late.
She's yapping in chat, Ryan. How you gonna cover this?
I'm pretty sure she was yapping on the podcast as well.
Solo twice.
Shock base.
Look, I don't know. I've got nothing to say in defense. I've got nothing. So kudos, well done. Yeah, and no. I guess to conclude this. Actually, well, Runt, did you pick one?
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, sure.
To conclude this, I think that's one of the. I think looking back, that might be one of the longest climbs we've ever seen at a tournament. So, if not the biggest climb.
It was tied for like Spiders and Darwin,
but this one made it into finals versus like climbing to near.
Yeah. So, massive congrats to the Archangels. We hope to see you back doing the same stuff. I don't know. Well done. Moving on. Second place. Oh, I keep forgetting about this bloody worm. There it is, everyone. Have a look at it. Awesome. Second place. Catalyst. Equal predictions. We had Wax, Husky, Lulbo, Thick Jim, and Wham Fox. Who wants to start yapping?
It just sucks to verse a team where they're all so consistent and so highly skilled. Like Thick Jam, I think struggled at pre too, but he picked it up massively this comp, and he was same as Wham Fox. You have to work so hard to get a kill on him.
Yeah, I definitely spent way too long like trying to play against these boys and just getting shafted for it. I also don't think I can talk too much trash because I don't think I took a game off you guys this time around.
Actually,
I don't think so.
Really?
I could be wrong. I just thinking back on it without checking.
I think that's true actually. Like there was definitely some really close games.
Yeah. I don't think we were far out of it, but I don't think we ever got over the line.
The base destroyers average, very nice, very yummy. That's like 1.7, 0.7, 0.6, 1.2 is like kind of crazy good. Were you guys winning a lot of games like with the base lead, or I mean, surely with like base averages like that, surely you were up on bases most of the time, no?
I think so. I think a lot of the time, like I feel like we like in Wolfpack, it felt like we were the pack team. Like we would always be on have more pack. Everyone would be like going crazy. Where I feel like now we kind of play more of the base race game because it's just like we're not as always consistent. Like we're all positive tag ratio, but no one's like gone.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of games you and Husky, for example, would be like 50, down 50. On tag ratio in the start, and then you'd get some bases, and then you'd stretch your legs more and start shooting people. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of that's how we played. Like realistically, Husky playing his first ever like comp where he's just like the main attacker. Like this is like solid from him. Like he did really well. Like there's no world where I didn't think this would happen. Like I have playing doubles with Husky and like just playing in general. He's just a confidence player. If he was confident and he felt like he was doing well, which at times he was like, I've never seen the man have a bigger ego ever. Like he was like, I'm the GOAT. Like I'm crazy. Like he was. But then there was times where he wasn't. But like it was nice to see him like hype himself up a little bit and like be really like I can do this. Like I know I can do this. Like I'm.
Yeah, that's awesome to see.
So it's like really solid to see like Jimmy as well, like just stepping up. Like I felt like the amount of times I like during the comp, I just rewatch all our games and like see what I could like see and all that. Like the amount of times that Jimmy would just solo a base was insane. Like he would just like rock up, think that we were there, do a 3-man push, but he's just by himself, and then would just like kill 2 and shoot the base and then get it and just leave like it was nothing. And he wouldn't tell me.
For the help, man.
Like he wouldn't tell me, and then would have more bases at the end of the game. I'm like, wait, what? Where the fuck did you do that? He's like, oh yeah, I went to reload and I soloed the base.
That's the classic.
My goat. Like Little Boy Under was solid as well. Like he was doing really well and like controlling everything and like doing pushing and pulling. I think Wham had slightly a worse comp. He wasn't feeling as nice, but I think he was the one that was more like feeling off about me captaining because him and I have never played really well together and like he defends, like he has a defending mind where I like want to attack more and like there's things that like made it worse. But I think like overall like it was like a really solid weekend, except for like game 3 of finals. Like everything other than that and like losing to some stupid games to Dragons. Like yeah, I had a lot of fun captaining. Like it's definitely something I want to do in the future, but
I noticed your stats took a big hit, Wax. You were like, I'm gonna be captaining. I can go wherever
Yeah.
wherever I want. My stats are gonna be insane.
I think my issue is I actually become Hitler. Like I'm just like controlling everyone. Like I just like fully like general everyone. Like no one can breathe without me telling them to breathe. Like
And that's the reality. This maze you have to be telling
Yeah.
people what to do. So I wasn't surprised at all to see your stats take a hit, and I
Yeah.
don't think that reflects negatively on you. It's just the job, right?
And I think like if I had practiced more of it, it could have been better. But I think because I was like, there's a point in game 2 of finals when you guys dump, I'm like yelling at Husky to be at green because I didn't want to be at the dump base. I wanted to be at Archangel's base. And he's in green with no one there. And I find him. I start yelling at him to go to green because he didn't listen to me. And then he gets 2-shot denied because instead of defending him, I'm just talking and like pointing. And then he gets 2-shot denied by Sega. And then they start the rotation on your dump base. And it like we waste like 4 minutes and it's like a disaster. And that's like the spiral off it. But there's just like a small thing where like, usually I would never do that because like I would have shut up and just shot the person. But like, because I'm like trying to like tell everyone what to do and stuff, it's like brain not big enough to do 2 things at once.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't really have anything to add. We only versed you like once. Because yeah, again, we were like down really low and then only climbed towards the end and then dropped off again. But it was just cool to see. You seem to be, yeah, everyone was shitting on like the wax captaining. Do you feel like you were able to prove what you wanted to prove? Like you were saying in the predictions, like you're kind of hyped that people were like shitting on you, like you being a captain, like it's going to be an absolute disaster. Like, do you think you went out and proved what you wanted to, or?
Like, I think so. And I think I learnt so much. Like, I think my mentality on the weekend was actually so good. Like, the way my brain actually just worked better. Like, brain got bigger for some reason.
Yeah, I would have specified. I was shitting on the claim he made that his stats would get better. His captaining, I was impressed by it. Like, it didn't seem like a disaster at all. It was good.
I felt like I haven't learnt this much about laser tag in like 5 years.
Yeah,
like, I feel like I just like took another step up in like all these things I want to do and this and that, and like it just the amount of times that we would come out of a game and like I like completely screwed over Little Bo and like he's like getting mad at me and like why are we doing this, and I'm just like I literally just like I'm sorry, I learnt so much from that game. Like that game, like just like made me think about a bunch of things that I didn't consider before. Like
It's like a different perspective or a different
Yeah.
like viewpoint.
and it's just a lot of fun. Like I love the freedom of captaining, and it feels like I can play my game the whole game instead of playing my game for 30% of the game and then going at home and like kind of like trying to leave and like not being allowed to and then getting in trouble.
So you're going back to dodge captaining at Nats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys reckon you'll be a fair bit stronger at Nats, because I'm assuming so, right? Like,
I think the good thing is I think at the start of the game I can still do me things. I just need to work out in the middle and the back end of the game how I want to play and like how we want to play as a team. And I don't know exactly what Dodge wants to do yet. He hasn't been training too much because he's been having a lot of work. But we have a lot of training and stuff at Nats and like all round robin. Like we'll be able to work out what we want to do and have nice like big chats and stuff and work out exactly how we want to play and stuff.
yeah, like I will say, being able to open with dodge again and having Husky kind of go out
Under.
late game
Yeah.
is what I'm scared of, and that's like I'm not looking forward to you having another opening batsman again, kind of thing.
I think having Cody with the confidence of like pre-Nats 3, and then also like if he just starts in last line and then like it's like Diego, get in the base, like I'm taking Husky, like it's just so goated. Like
Can I just say, you guys did the most cringe green hold I've ever seen. Everyone was complaining about pre-Nats 2 how OP bloody green is for lefties, and you guys are like, watch us put two of them in the base, both watching right door from high, like both watching front door from high. I look at front door and I'm like, as I go to dive thick gym, I get shot over the wall by Husky. I'm like, what is this? What is this cringe? Like,
I remember one of the first golden game. I felt like the start of the game was really good, and I knew we were in a really good driver's seat, and Storm hadn't got a base yet. So I was like, get two in the base. They're gonna dump. It's happening. Two in the base. Go.
You were yelling this standing next to me, dude. I was like,
yeah,
no,
I was like,
I'm not gonna do it now.
I'm bullied. I don't care. Like, do it, pussy. Like, let's go.
We walked out of that, and you were like, you were gonna dump. You did, then you didn't, and then you did later.
Yeah.
I think
the craziest hold though, because both players would always watch the same door. They get a left call and they both turn to left door, and they get a right call and they both turn to right door. I'm like, why is the highest tier team playing such dumb low tier strats and it's working for them because they're two good lefties in their base? Like, what is this stupidity?
That's awesome.
We've already had a specific conversation about like that stuff.
Also, I only just noticed Wem had a 1.7 deny.
Yeah, he was getting them denies. He was hungry, bro.
Oh goddamn.
Hungry for them.
He had a fucked leg. So that is crazy that like he was like consistently getting nearly 2 denies a game. Like that is insane.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go around and pick our MVPs, and then we've got one team left, and we can wrap up the show. So, who wants to go first?
I hate myself for doing this, but I'm picking Wax.
Good man.
No, it's like I like mad respect for stepping up captaining, doing a very good job. I remember talking you up, and then also getting like other people getting in my ear and like getting talked down on your captaining ability, and I think I came back around on it. But like, yeah, I think you've done a really good job captaining, because it's not always easy, and I think it would have been easy for you to let the macro fall, or let your own stats, like let one or the other like rule you too much, and I think you've done a pretty decent job of balancing that.
Happy days. Runt.
Yeah, on one hand, Thick Jim improved so much but like he always had that potential. He just needed to train again. Yeah, I'd say Wax. I think it was a humbling experience for him, but he was good in the role. Like by no means a disaster or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll jump on the bandwagon as well. Happy days. You get 3 MVPs this time around. How good, bro.
All you had to do was shoot less stuff.
Crazy. No, I think like you were saying before, like you feel like your game like improved quite a lot just from like captaining this one tournament. I think a lot of that is just that shift of perspective, right? Like you have to think about everything differently. I think there's a lot of value. Like if you can, maybe you don't do it like every nationals, but like go into a really high level pre-nats and playing, even if it's not captaining, just playing a position you don't normally play for the duration of it can really give you an appreciation of one, like the people that play that role normally on your teams, and B, like I think by improving your attacking, like if you're a defender, if you improve your attacking, you have a much better understanding of attacking in general, which is then going to feed back into your ability to defend, and then vice versa. Like if you're typically an attacker, but then you spend a massive period of time like focusing on your defense, your like door defending or last lining or whatever, it can really that shift in perspective can really level up your game. So as scary as it is that Wax has gotten even better, it's cool that you've you've been around for so long and you've been able to find that. So happy days.
I will just say like my MVP is Jimmy. Like after Prenats 2, and I was honestly a bit worried. Like I had a bit of a worry that like he might not come back and like he might not get there. But training has been so good. Prenats 3, he like it was just so nice to like I could attack with Jimmy and reliably get him a base very quickly sometimes, and it was just so nice to have 4 players I could do that with, and it was just just made it a lot better.
Oh. All right. Well, yeah, we'll see the Catalyst boys back. No doubt they'll be in the finals. I don't think anyone's. It'll be more of a surprise if they were ever not in a final. So we'll. I'm sure we'll see you there. In at Zoltak.
We just gotta get dragons into their golden game.
True.
No, Runt.
The challenge has been thrown down for the first team to keep them out of the finals.
Alrighty. There's your thingy. Yeah, good looking one. The best one.
Yeah.
Moving on. First place Vikings. Equal predictions again. Twinkles, Runt, CV, Jellyhawk, and Karen. You guys get started.
Shit's on my stats. Yeah.
My mum
the
brought me some dinner,
I
so I'm
deserve it.
gonna eat this while you guys yap, and I'll tune back in a sec.
You're good. Like, that's crazy. Surely he's been yapping like hard, like
endlessly, and he deserves it. But I've been yapping back because I was so far above him, and then he just shot Invictus all of a game, and got like an 8 GRC that game, and now he's above me. So, and this doesn't include the final day, which I've got a lot of cope for this one. But no, he played very, very well, and he deserved to beat me on this one.
I wish the final day was included, like the end of the final day, because my stats felt so much better on the final day. Like, yeah, I think like the way that you guys played, it played exactly how I thought it would. Like, you guys definitely like the 3 backline was sometimes a liability, but like it wasn't as consistently a liability as I expected it to be. Like this, like the tag ratios are all solid. Like,
yeah, well, I haven't actually looked at it like that. That's insane. Eh?
There's no like even like Jelly and CV on both doors are doing well. Like even on the bad door, CV from green. I don't know what doors he was playing on the other bases. Like
CV usually plays the rough one.
Yeah, like he's still doing solid, which is to be expected. It's CV. Like he's gonna find a way. Like he's getting solid denies as well. Seeing you and Twinkles not be as clean with bases is a little weird to me, because I feel like that's something that I felt like you guys always had. Like no matter what.
I think I normally hover around a 1, and he's normally a bit higher than that as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Maybe I mean Hobart we were probably low, but
yeah,
I think every pre-nuts we're like we've been about a 1 also. Yeah. Oh, and he got denied less than me. God damn. It's normally not the way. Normally not the way. Normally
he's just better. It's just better.
Built I got that extra play 1 on the base.
Like I think one thing I did notice a lot, like it felt like Karen did nothing, like because the game didn't come to you at all. Like there's a lot of games where he would just have 8 kills at the end of the game, and that is, I think I would have cried myself. I couldn't. But he's like just solid at doing that. Like I've never seen him like cry about it. I've never seen him like that's just what he's doing. And like let's go. Like
I remember there was like there were some crazy haters in the chat. I remember there was a comment like, they must be infighting on Vikings when we were like having a bad game in finals. It's like, no, our team's normally like, we just do our jobs. Like, never really any infighting or anything. So yeah, Karen's really good. Players roll out. I won't complain.
Like for me, nothing crazy. Like it's just like what we expected. Like you and Twinkles to have the base average. Like the
I mean,
game to be controlled
expecting
in
an
pack
average
points.
of like 10k out of the Runt Twinkles is still wild, but like
Yeah.
you can perform this well, and it's just like, yep, this was what we expected, nothing more.
Yeah.
I think it gets to that point though. Like I feel like they did it whole last year.
I
Like
absolutely.
they did it
Like
this year.
I
Like
agree.
if it's any less than this, I'm like asking. I'm yapping. Like I'm talking shit. Like, and that's just who they are. Like the two of them together is just like no one else like even comes close these days with like their synergy.
I will say like Vikings is like one of the most fun teams to play against from where I'm playing and from where I'm standing. I just have such a great time playing against you guys.
You're such a sweetie, Brock. You're such a sweetie, mate.
That was good. Yeah, no. Always just these duels for like the first 4 minutes of every game in the middle of the maze. Just the four of us shooting each other.
Yeah. You yeah.
I don't know. Has anyone got any particular insights? Things from like the grand final, maybe, or I don't know. Runt, you got some goss you want to let out or whatever?
Yeah. Again, it was crazy to see the comments in the chat. They're like, Runt's making panic calls because his TR's low. It's like, I'm allowed to not shoot stuff, and does that reflect poorly on my calls? Like, it was wild. They're like, Twinkles is panicking. He's a panicking player. I'm like, he was chill. I don't know. It was just so wild to see the comments from people that weren't in the finals.
This is what you're gonna have to get used to. Is now you're the bad guy. Now
I know it's weird. It's so
like everyone's keen for it at first, and then when they're like, "Oh, Vikings have won again," it's like, we shit on them.
Yeah,
then they'll be cheering when you walk out of a game in second place.
Yeah, that's you'll get used to it.
Yeah, for sure. What was it though? No, that. Yeah. I just didn't shoot anything in the second game of finals, which was so annoying because I didn't have a negative TR all comp until that one finals game where I'm just like, I'll just stop shooting absolutely everything. So I almost threw that. Then luckily, Wax's team just happened to not shoot stuff in the third game for us. Again, it's like that thing I was saying earlier. It's like both of our teams deserve to win. We just won the coin flip. Like, I don't think there was any.
I was talking shit to you after the finals. Like I was confident, but then I didn't get told that like it was that bad. No one was like, I played terrible. Like that was terrible. Like I was like, we're chilling. Like this is like we might have just lost the last game by a little bit, but I think we still won overall.
I was listening to you say that. I'm like, they probably got it, so I can't arc up. But like, I don't think it was as bad as they think it was. But yeah, it definitely didn't feel amazing. Like, I think a lot of people were like, they have no idea what's going on. I'm like, you can ask the refs. Going into that final game, I said we're down 7k. Like that was the number I put out. And again, that was lucky to get it as close as it was. I didn't expect it to be as dead on. But yeah, when you were doing bad, and I think I stand by blowing out that second game as well. I think that was fun.
Yeah, like were you guys like? I think it was the second game was a combination of things. Like I think you lost 3 bases really quick, and like maybe your tag ratio being worse maybe made you call it quick. But I think if you didn't call it then it would have the game could have gotten away from you even more. Like you guys dumping there actually worked. Like brought it back into like fighting territory. Like people just don't understand. Yeah, and, like I think people expect people to be like, oh, they don't see the scores, they don't know. But like. We knew exactly what was happening. You knew exactly what was happening. Maybe Archangels don't know because it's their first finals ever, but like, it's not that hard to tell like where you are at in those games. There's so many tells and things. Like in the first game, I was like, oh, I think Vikings won by the tiniest bit of pack. And then someone's like, Runt got one shot, got denied at the end. I was like, okay, we won the first game because he was trying to get that one base and trying to get that little bit more. So I think we won by like a little bit in the first game.
Yeah, I think that the capacity of like top teams to know exactly where they're at in a final series is bloody impressive. That the sport's gotten to this point, but I think like apparently teams have been doing that since the 2000s. So I think Top tier teams are just very, very clued in and very good at counting.
When you play enough, you just know. Unless you're mad, and like unless there's an emotion involved, like it's usually, or you're missing information. Like it's usually pretty easy to tell where you stand.
I can't believe I got time denied in the game as well. Everything was going wrong.
I am back, everyone. My Hungry Jacks was very good, in case you were wondering. Yeah. Sorry. Man's got to eat, you know? Cool. Well, I don't know. Has anyone got things they would like to add about the Vikings, or are we going to move on to our MVPs?
I'm keen for MVPs. I'm going to put Twinkles above Runt.
It deserves it.
Yep. Brock, you got one?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to Twinkles as well, I think.
Twinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to piss Runt off, I'll pick Twinkles as well, because that's really funny.
Okay, right.
Awesome.
But you did have 200 points higher average.
Yeah.
What's
What's it called? I'll go. I think Jelly. I've hyped him up for so long. Everyone knows this, but like everyone's like, oh, when he's actually in a real game, he won't be able to do this, and it's just because of anchor and stuff. But no, like he's very, very good at shooting
Really
stuff.
solid.
Yeah.
Standoff's so good. Like everything about him's like so clean. It's just
He's still
clumsy to be a
lazy.
bit.
He's still lazy.
Lazy?
He doesn't calm yet.
Yeah, lazy and comms. There's
Yeah.
two issues. Like if he was a little bit more energized, then he's crazy.
So yes, he better fix that for Nats. But apart from that, he did very well.
It is.
Yeah, one other interesting aspect is I'm assuming we'll get a fair bit stronger at Nats by the inclusion of Leper. We're obviously down Leper this comp, similarly to how Wax's team is going to get stronger when they have Dodge back, and similarly to how Firebird's team are probably going to get more experience in the maze because two of their players hadn't played it before. So I think every team is like going through like a power notch up for Nats, which is going to make it very interesting to see.
Interesting to see where every team grows to between Pre-3 and Nats.
Cool beans. There's the Vikings graph. Nice looking graph. It's kind of nice. I don't know what else to say.
Exactly average. Thank you, Sharkies.
Cool beans. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
No, there's still 2 more slides, Rand.
Is there?
You
Oh yeah,
made one of
true.
them.
I did make the slides, didn't I, as well? Yeah, I put together some of the top 5 stats. Okay. 2 more slides. 1 more slide. 2 more slides. Okay. Cool. Here's the top 5s for the tournament. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to glaze anyone, or we just kind of is anything jumping out at you guys? I think something we kind of shouted out on the shouted out in the last stream was the BMW having a deny stat of 1.4 with a broken foot. Good man. that's
sick.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to shout out the Gustus. I mean, Worthy as well, apparently, with that 1.9. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. I love that. Keep it up, Gus. He's been doing that, and I don't want to see it stop. I know those are the ones that are jumping out at me, but
Zam's really high score ratio this comp. I don't think we've ever seen him anywhere near that high. I think this is the first time he's like shot all the people and shot the bases. So that's cool.
yeah. Anything jumping out at you guys?
Just Wham again. Wham getting 1.7 is crazy.
Yeah, 1.7 denies is kind of awesome, kind of cool. With the bad leg as well, you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Maybe getting denies, all you have to do is just like jack up
Go
your leg. Play slower and break your leg. Awesome.
Now, Twinkles, how are you sitting here? How are you sitting here, mate?
Like, you're actually above him on everything. He actually sucks.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't make the stats. I didn't make the stats.
That's funny.
I got you with the overall score.
It's kind of like you and Husky. It's that thing of, you know, abusing each other to push each other harder. So I'm definitely gonna be pushed at Nats to, you know, pick my game up.
Happy days. Cool. We have this bloody stupid predictions, bro. I suck. I suck at this, bro. I am the worst at predictions. Yeah. Just another thing. Runt's won. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
I feel like you just put that on there. If you'd lost, you would not want these on here.
I've put them on here every stream. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah, whatever. Bro.
They're an objective measure of how accurate your predictions are. I don't know what to tell you.
I just hate objectively being told that I suck.
At least I beat Wax.
It's true.
Never believing in one up outlaws again.
Yeah, this is the full list, by the way. I haven't shown the bottom 10 teams, but that total includes all of them.
Okay, sure.
I want to shout out my aftershock prediction, because if you remember the prediction stream, we spent like 20 minutes saying that, oh yeah, actually aftershock are actually going to be up really here, and I'm like, still aftershock. And we got
so
dead
weird.
on, baby. We got dead on.
on my notes, or like when I made it, it says I have aftershock in 8th. So I would have got it perfectly if I said it on the stream, but for some reason I didn't. I don't know why.
Afterthought. Damn, bro.
Jesus.
Damn, bro. Alright, we're gonna stop this stream in a sec. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Awesome. Damn. Okay. That's been the pre-nets predictions. We finally did it like a month later. And with like a month and a half until Zoltak.
See you next week for predictions.
So Zeltec predictions next week then, yeah.
I mean, pretty much. So as I was saying in the last stream, so I leave on the 23rd of May, and I'm going to be in Japan for 2 weeks. And then I'm back for 1 week, and then we're at Nats. I don't think I'm going to squeeze it in that 1 week in between.
So Japan predictions?
I've acquired a laptop, so I could do them from Japan, but I'm staying in like I don't know, I have to do it at like an internet cafe or something, because like
Do we
That would be
Like,
goated.
hostel,
That would be
like-
goated.
Do we get Fuggin cameo as well?
maybe a fucking cameo. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sick.
No, realistically, hopefully I get it done. I mean, what have I got? I got like there's 2 weekends between not including this weekend. There's 2 weekends between now and
We have time. We have time.
when I leave. So I'll be in touch with people shortly. I think it's only, what's the teams for Nats? Isn't it like 24, 25 or
Only
something?
26, so it's like not even that bad.
I think I was thinking, because obviously previously I've done the predictions in multiple streams as well, because there were so many teams to cover. But I think with the new whiteboard method, like we got through 21 teams in an hour and a half, no?
Something like
So
that.
I don't think I'll need to do multiple streams, so that makes it way more doable in the short time we have left. But yeah, I guess stay tuned for that. I'll be announcing that soon. Yeah, I don't know. All I have to say is, 6 weeks left till nationals. X amount of trainings. Make those trainings, make them good ones. I think you should be making all of your training good ones, but like now it's like really the time to like lock in, as Benny is very fond of saying. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Have you guys got any last bits you want to say before we close the show?
Get keen for Nats.
Yeah.
Don't be bad.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you very much, Wax, Firebird,
Thank you.
Runt, for joining me. It's been good as always. And I don't know. See you at Nuts. Or see you for the prediction stream. Goodbye.
But
Boom.